A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Well, the Aces are having trouble with Jane's 19-year-old niece, Betty. She's fallen in love with 41-year-old David Page, and Jane and Mr. Ace have been trying to break it up. The man seems willing enough, but Betty is heartbroken. This episode takes place in Mr. Ace's real estate office, where Betty is employed as secretary. Mr. Ace is at his desk this morning as Jane enters. Listen.
Oh, hello, Jane. Come in.
What is it, dear? What's the matter? I came the minute you telephoned me. I was in the middle of brushing my hair.
All right, take it easy. Sit down. I want to talk to you.
What about?
Well, sit down, will you?
I can't sit down. I'm on pins and cushions. All the way downtown in the taxi, I kept imagining the most terrible thing.
Well, I didn't mean to scare you, but I've got to get this settled once and for all. I mean Betty.
Betty? What happened? I saw her out there just now.
Yes, you saw her. What did she say?
Good morning.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised. That's more than she said to me the past 3 days. I don't get a civil word out of her. She's mad at me because of that guy that...
Now, wait a minute. Did she say good morning? I know I said good morning. One of us said
I
it.
thought so. That's what I've been getting here at the office. She does her work all right, but she does it in such a formal way. It makes me darn uncomfortable. I'm not going to take it.
Take what?
Her attitude. That's why I sent for you. First, I want to show you what she does, how she acts. And I'm going to give her one chance to snap out of it. You're going to warn her that unless she does snap out of it, I'm going to fire her, niece or no niece.
Fire Betty?
Unless she snaps out of the way she's acting.
Well, what does she do? I don't understand.
Oh, she doesn't do anything I can lay a finger on. It's just that, well, you're going to see. I'll call her.
No, wait a minute, dear. Let's talk about it first. Did she say anything about us making her stop going with BAVID?
Well, she doesn't say anything about anything. She's strictly business.
Well, after all, this is a business office, dear.
I know it is, but it's the way she does it. As if I were a stranger or something. It's gotten me so I'm afraid to open my mouth around here. I got to have a little cordiality around the office, and unless she changes and stops talking about this guy she was running around with, I'm going to get rid of her.
Oh, you can't do that, dear. What did my sister think?
I don't care what she thinks.
Well, I do. It's my own flesh and bone.
Oh.
Betty'll get over it. She's young. She's in love. I know it's just a fancy passing, but she doesn't. She's young. A girl's only young once in a while. A lot of girls go through what Betty's going through, but they get over it, and so will she. Pretty soon she'll forget all about David and everything will be honky-tonky. You just wait and see.
Well, I'm not going to wait while I let my business go to rack and ruin. I tell you that I can't get anything done around here. It's getting so... I even hate to come into the office.
But you said she's strictly business.
Yes, I know, but the way she does it, so formal... Now, wait, I'll show you what I mean. I'll call her in here. Just sit right down there. That's it. Betty...
That's not very formal, calling her by her first name.
I'm not the one that's formal. I said she's the one. Now, you just wait.
Yes, Miss Ray?
Betty, I want you to take a letter. Get your notebook, please.
Yes, sir.
She calls you Mr. Ray.
Yes, you see what I mean? Hush now.
I'm ready, Mr. Ray.
Yes, to Lewis & Lewis, care of the Red Star Lumber Company, 129 Claremont Street, City. Have you got that? I'm not going too fast, am I?
Proceed, please.
Yes. Dear Mr. Lewis, some time ago you spoke to me about some property, which, if I could get for a bargain, you would be interested in, period. I have that property now and would like an appointment at your convenience, period. Very truly yours. Now get that off right away, will you please?
Ahead of the other letters you dictated this morning?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Betty, another thing. I haven't been able to find any of my pipe tobacco around here. You haven't seen it around anywhere, have you?
I'm sure. I don't know where it is.
There, you see?
What?
You see what I mean?
She doesn't know where the pipe tobacco is?
The pipe? Well, yes, that too. That typifies her general attitude.
Well, after all, dear, I'm sure she didn't smoke your tobacco.
I'm not talking about the tobacco.
You are too, dear. You just asked her where your pipe tobacco was.
Yes, but I just wanted to show you how disinterested she acts.
Well, after all, you can't expect her to get interested in pipe tobacco.
Will you forget the tobacco?
You forgot where you put the tobacco.
I simply use the tobacco as an example.
Well, tobacco's a bad example for Betty. I don't want her to start smoking, too.
I'm going to start smoking in a minute if you don't stop talking about the tobacco.
Well, I hate to get sarcastic, dear, but you brought up the tobacco first.
I simply asked if she saw the tobacco just to show you how she's been acting. I could have asked her if she saw the morning paper around here.
Dear, you can't start smoking paper.
I'm not... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, Jane, it's been nice seeing you. See you around sometime. Good day.
What? Don't you want me to talk to Betty and tell her to stop being so formal?
I did, but if you're going to keep on aggravating me...
I didn't do anything. You started it when you asked her for your pipe tobacco.
Look, please, let's not go through that again. Don't mention the word again, please.
Well, all right, if you won't.
I won't. Now, I've got to get out of here. I've got an all-day appointment at that apartment building we're taking over today. Now, I want you to talk to Betty and let her know that unless she turns human again, I won't have her around here.
Well, you just leave it to me, dear.
I am leaving it to you, simply because there's nobody else to leave it to. And if she isn't changed by tomorrow, out she goes. I'm not going to stand that supercilious attitude of hers. I don't have to, and I won't. You can tell her there are plenty of girls that are just as efficient as she is, and I'll hire one of them, so help me. Tell her to put that in her pipe and smoke it.
Oh, now there you go again. Now don't say I brought it up.
What's the use? I'm going. Where's my hat?
There it is.
I'll see you at dinner tonight. I might be a little late.
Well, goodbye, dear. And I'll sit at your desk here. I like this window chair. Send Betty in, please.
Oh, Betty, I believe your aunt wants you. I'm going out, and I won't be back the rest of the day. I'll find those letters tomorrow.
Betty.
What is it?
I want to talk to you.
I'm busy right now.
You come right in here.
What is it?
Well, Betty, come here now. Just sit down there. Close that door. That's it. Now sit over here.
What do you want? I'm busy.
Betty, I'm going to talk to you like a Dutch aunt. I'm not going to bat around the bush because I don't mind telling you that your uncle doesn't like your altitude around here. And unless you change
Aunt Jane, write me a letter about it. I'm busy.
A letter? All right. Take a letter then. Betty Taylor, care of the 8th Neffs Real Estate Company, 305 Tate Building, City. To whom it may concern, dear Betty, you've been walking around in a coma for the longest period, and if you think your uncle is going to stand
What's going on around here? Tea party?
Well, Mr. Neff.
You, young lady, why aren't you at your desk out there?
I'm sorry, Mr. Neff, but my aunt just took me away from my work.
Well, get back to it.
Yes, sir.
What kind of a real estate office is this partner of mine running anyhow?
Well, he had to go out somewhere.
Where?
Somewhere about an apartment building.
And he left you here to look after business?
Me? Oh, no. I was just talking to my niece.
Well, a business office is no place to carry on family matters. What time will your husband be back?
Oh, I don't think he'll be back today. He said he'd be busy all day.
Fine business. Fine partner I've got. Never can find him in.
Well, he didn't know you were coming, Mr. Neff, or he would have waited for you.
What are you doing here?
Oh, well, I came to talk to my niece about something.
A business office is no place for that.
Well, this is something about business. You see, he wants her to pay more attention to business, and he wanted me to tell her.
Can't he tell her?
Well, she's kind of mad at him.
Mad at him?
Yes.
What's going on here?
Well, you see, it's on account of some fellow she was going around with, and we made her stop. Of course, it was just a fancy passing, but she's young and
It's just a what?
What?
What did you say?
When?
When?
No, I asked you that.
You asked... Oh, no, Mrs. H. You're not going to get me mixed up again. I've had dealings with you before. My blood pressure can't stand it.
All right.
And I haven't the time to listen to your worries about your niece. I've got my own worries with a good-for-nothing nephew of mine.
Who's that?
That's what I came here to talk to your husband about. I want him to take this boy in to the business here and teach it to him from the ground up.
Your nephew?
Yes. Spent a fortune on him, sending him through college. And what did he do up there?
What?
He was supposed to study law. Spent a fortune on him and thought I'd have a lawyer in my family to look after my business. But what did he do?
What?
Got on the track team. I spent a fortune on him so he can run 100 yards.
Where to?
Where to?
Yes, you said he runs 100 yards. Where does he run to?
Nowhere.
Runs nowhere? In circles, you mean?
I don't know if he runs in circles or up alleys. All I know is he can't get away with it. Not after I spent my hard-earned money. He's 22 years old, and time he did something.
Oh, he's 22?
Yes. I want your husband to take him in here. If he's learned anything about law, it might come in handy.
You say he's 22?
Yes.
Is he married?
Married on what? He hasn't got a cent of his own. And if he thinks he's going to wait around for me to leave my money to him, He's got another thought coming.
Mr. Neff, is he... what kind of a boy is he? Is he nice-looking?
Nice-looking? What's that got to do with it? He isn't going into the movies.
Well, I was just wondering what he looked like.
Sure, he's nice-looking. Fit an image of me.
Oh.
Looks like I did when I was his age, 35 years ago.
Oh, were you his age?
What? Was I his age?
Well, it's just kind of hard to think of you as younger, Mr. Neff.
What?
Oh, what I mean is he's tall? Has he got nice teeth? Does he dance close?
He's a 6-foot, handsome, good-for-nothing loafer. That's what he is.
Oh, he sounds marvelous.
Marvelous?
Yes.
I had visions of him coming out of that law school and setting up an office here, maybe running for mayor someday.
But you said you don't want him to run.
Who said that?
Well, you said he runs 100 yards.
I said he... Well, I'll talk to your husband about him. I did want him to meet this boy today.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Neff. I just got a marvelous idea. It hit me in the face like a flash in the pan. How about you and your nephew coming to our house for dinner tonight?
Dinner?
Yes, and then you can see Mr. Ace there and talk to him about it.
Well, nothing fried.
Oh, no, we're having roast beef tonight. Is that all right?
Okay. What time?
About 7 o'clock.
I'll be there.
Oh, but your nephew, too, Mr. Neff.
Of course. That's the point in coming over.
22. That's more like it.
What?
He's 22, you said.
Yes. You'd never know it to talk to him. Sounds like a 2-year-old rather than a man that's been through college. Track team. Learned to run 100 yards.
Well, that might come in handy, Mr. Neff.
I sent him up there to be a lawyer.
Well, he can run after ambulances someday.
What?
You know how some lawyers do. Don't worry about him, Mr. Neff. He'll be just right.
Well, it's easy to see where Jane's mind is. It's on Betty. Maybe she's found somebody to take Betty's mind off David. We'll learn more about it when next we meet the Easy Aces.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X minus 1. Tonight, gray flannel armor. Now, X minus 1 and part 1 of Gray Flannel Armor.
My name is Thomas Hanley, and my case history is of particular interest to anthropologists, sociologists, and students of the bizarre. In its humble way, it serves as an example of one of the more obscure mating customs of the late 20th century. To begin with, I own several gray flannel suits and many slim neckties with regimental stripes. Millions of us roam the streets of our great cities, footsteps firm and hurried, eyes front, voices lowered, dressed to the point of invisibility. But inside, I fairly seethed with romantic ideas of swinging cutlasses, of beautiful damsels, their hair shimmering in the moonlight. In short, let's face it, I was a romanticist. But romance is a commodity difficult to come by in the great cities. Life is too impersonal, too busy, too standardized. This particular Friday night, I returned from my office to my one-room apartment and prepared to face another long, dull weekend. Then the doorbell rang.
Good evening, Mr. Hanley.
If you're collecting for something, come back after payday.
My friend, I am Joe Morris, a representative of the New York Romance Service. Main offices in the Empire State Building and branches in all 5 boroughs, Westchester and New Jersey.
You must have the wrong party.
Oh, no, Mr. Hanley. We're out to serve lonely people. And that means you. Don't deny it now. Why else would you be sitting home on a Friday night?
Well, the fact is...
You're lonely. And it's our business and our pleasure to serve you.
Serve me with what?
A bright, sensitive, good-looking fellow like yourself needs girls.
Girls?
Nice girls. Now, these young ladies I was referring to, Mr. Hanley, are not, professionals. They are sweet, normal, romantically inclined young ladies. But they are lonely. There are many lonely girls in our city, Mr. Hanley.
Oh, yes, I suppose there are. Funny, you never think of it that way. I mean, if you're not a girl.
True. Now, the purpose of the New York Romance Service is to bring young people together under suitable circumstances.
Oh, I see. A kind of, you'll pardon the expression, a kind of friendship club?
I should say not. We at the New York Romance have done what should have been done years ago. We have applied scientific precision and technological know-how to a thorough study of the factors essential to a successful meeting between the sexes.
Factors? What factors?
The most vital ones, my friend, are spontaneity and a sense of fatedness.
Oh, well, spontaneity and fate are contradictory terms.
Certainly. Romance by its very nature must be composed of contradictory elements. We have graphs to prove it.
Are you saying that you sell romance?
The very article. The pure and pristine substance itself. Mind you, I didn't say love. I didn't say common animal passion. I said romance. The missing ingredient, Mr. Hanley, in modern society. The spice of life. The vision of all the ages. That is what we sell.
Very interesting. If I'm ever in the market, I'll get in touch with you.
Oh, just a minute, sir. Try our system for a few days, absolutely free of charge. Here. Put this in your lapel.
Oh? Well, what is this thing? It looks like a small transistor radio with a tiny video eye.
As it happens, it is a small transistor radio with a tiny video eye.
Oh? What does it do?
You'll see. Just give it a try. Remember, romances sponsored by our firm are fated, spontaneous, aesthetically satisfying, and morally justifiable.
Well, all right, Mr. Morris. I'll accept the free trial offer. Wear this in my lapel, you say?
In the lapel.
Oh, all right. There it is.
Happy romance, Mr. Hanley.
You're listening to The Gray Flannel Armor, tonight's attraction on X-1. Now X-1 brings you Act 2 of Gray Flannel Armor.
After Joe Morris left me, I took off my gray flannel jacket and examined the small device attached to my lapel. It had no knobs or controls. It didn't seem to do anything at all. I shrugged, put my jacket on again, tightened the Windsor knot in my tie, and went for a walk. It was a clear, cool night. Like most nights in my life, it was a perfect time for romance. Around me lay the city, infinite in its possibilities and rich in its promise. But it was devoid of fulfillment. Nothing ever happened. I passed lighted apartment buildings and thought of the women behind the high blank windows, looking down and seeing a lonely walker on the dark streets. Wondering about me, maybe, as I was wondering about them.
Nice to be on the roof of a building, to look down on the city.
Huh? Who said that? I wonder... Oh, sure. This transistor thing. Hey, what was that you said about a roof? Oh, I guess it isn't two-way. Oh, it's not a bad idea, though. would be kind of pleasant to look down on the city lights.
No. Not that one.
Well, what's wrong? Oh, sure. Wrong building. You mean this one over here? Oh, no answer again. Well, must be the right one this time. At least I hope so. I walked into the lobby, and I remember thinking how you had to hand it to New York romances. They seemed to know what they were doing. I took the self-service elevator to the top floor. From there, I walked up a flight of stairs to the roof. Well, the air smells good up here, at least.
No, not that side. The west side.
Okay. I hope you know what you're doing. I certainly don't. This turns out to be some sort of joke. Oh.
Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude.
You're not intruding?
Well, I didn't see you at first there in the shadows.
I know.
The lights. Mention the lights.
Those lights. The lights of the city down there. They're beautiful.
Yes, like a great carpet of stars. Or spear points in the gloom.
Like sentinels keeping eternal vigil in the night.
Like sentinels keeping eternal vigil in the night.
Take her in your arms.
Take her...
What?
Oh, nothing. Nothing, a mistake. Come here to me.
Yes. Yes.
As she was melting in my arms, I caught sight of the small transistor set pinned to her shoulder strap. The one exactly like the one in my lapel. You can't help feeling a little odd about a romantic meeting set up and sponsored by transistor radios. I could visualize a million young men in gray flannel suits roaming the streets in response to barely heard commands from a million tiny radios. I tried to forget my doubts. The next night I took another walk and found myself in a slum section of the city. I decided I'd made a mistake and started to turn around.
Why not walk on?
Huh? You want me to walk down this alley? Oh, well. Oh, good night. Two muggers after a girl. I better look for a policeman.
Why do that? You can handle them.
No, a policeman can do a lot better.
No, you must do it. Now.
But there's two men. They're probably armed.
You can do it.
Oh, well, here goes. Oh, you know. Now, wait a minute. You that? Oh, there. Take that. That'll teach you to harm a helpless girl.
You saved me. You saved my life.
I had to come.
I had to come.
Yes, I know.
Take her in your arms.
Yes, I know. I swept her into my arms and we embraced there in the darkened alleyway. As I held her close, my cheek brushed a shining jewel in her raven black hair. I had to look twice to recognize it, but sure enough, it was a tiny transistor receiver just like mine. I was suddenly angry. Oh, the girl was lovely, there was no denying that. And the circumstances were undeniably romantic until you realized that it was all a kind of cheap play. Fated and spontaneous. That was a joke. Angrily, I tore the transistor from my lapel and threw it into the nearest garbage can. I stalked away into the night, hardly realizing where I was going. I didn't really wake up until I reached the waterfront. I stood there looking at the oily black water and let the brackish-scented breeze fan my face. And then unexpectedly, I was aware of another person nearby. The moon slid from behind a cloud, and her auburn-tinted hair caught its light and held it for a moment. She turned her face toward me with frank curiosity. At this time, there was no transistor radio to throw me a cue. I didn't need one. It's a nice night.
Maybe. Maybe not.
The beauty is there, if you care to see it.
What a strange thing to say.
Is it? Is it really so strange? Is it strange that I'm here at this very moment, and that you are here too?
Perhaps not. No, perhaps not.
Let me look at you. Oh, you're really beautiful, you know.
Am I?
You know you are. Oh, you're lovely.
Do you really like me?
Like you? If I could only tell you.
Oh, I'm so glad. You see, I'm your free introductory romance, given you as a sample by Greater Romance Industries. What? With home offices in Newark, New Jersey. You see, only our firm offers romances which are truly spontaneous and fated.
Spontaneous and fated?
Due to our technological researches, we are able to dispense with such clumsy apparatus as transistor radios and... Sir, where are you going?
I was sick and disgusted. After that, there were several other attempts to get in touch with me, but I ignored them. I wanted no more to do with the romance game. In a couple of days, I called up a twittering aunt of mine, and she arranged a blind date for me with the daughter of one of her oldest friends. The blind date was a nice, friendly girl with plain, mousy brown hair. We were introduced in my aunt's living room, and we sat out on her sun porch and talked.
So you're Tom Hanley.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Your aunt has told me a lot about you. You work in advertising, don't you?
Yes, that's right. Madison Avenue.
Oh, I think that's thrilling. Advertising, I mean. It's such an interesting field.
Well, we like to think so.
Yes, I imagine you do all right.
Seems like, it's warmer this evening, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. Although I don't mind the cooler weather so much. Lots of people complain about it, but I don't mind.
Well, I don't either, I guess. As long as you're dressed for it.
Yes, I suppose that's the secret.
Oh, I was just thinking, do you like bowling?
Oh, I don't know. I've never bowled.
Oh.
Do you like tennis? I'm crazy about tennis.
Well, tennis is all right. Yeah. I guess you could say tennis is fine.
I'm crazy about it.
Well, all right. So it wasn't romantic. At least it wasn't at first. But there must have been something about it. We began to hit it off, and we had more dates, and one thing led to another, and the first thing you know, darned if we didn't get married. Yes, that's the story of my courtship. Of course, it isn't the whole story. At least, if you're making a case history, you have to know the important things. And to my mind, one of the most important of all happened after we were married. We bought a nice little house out near my aunt's and settled down in it. Then, one Saturday morning, I was out cutting the lawn. Hi there. Huh? Did you say something?
I said hi. Don't you remember me? Joe Morris.
Oh, sure. New York romances. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Morris, but you better take me off the list. I'm married now.
Certainly. I know all about it. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, I know all about the way it happened. Introduced by your aunt? Talking on the sun porch? Corny, old-fashioned stuff. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. Quite the contrary. Do you know what we down at New York Romancers call this?
No, what?
Hanley's Mode. We studied you. A lot of commercial possibilities there. We've got it down on graphs. Effects of embarrassment on the psyche. The role of the ant in American courtship. The whole works.
What are you talking about?
New York Romancers. What else? We've got a new service. It's called the Old-Fashioned Plan.
The what?
We provide bonded ants for young men to call up. We even have the ant walk into the sun parlor at unexpected intervals with a plate of cookies or something. They say the suspense becomes almost overpowering. Like our motto always said, spontaneity and a sense of fatedness. It never misses, my boy. Never misses.
Fred Collins again, and I'll have another word about X-1 in a moment. Have you caught one? A bad cold, nose all stuffed up, feeling achy, miserable? Then hear this. More people have taken more bromoquinine for more complete relief than with any other tablet ever sold for colds. You could use aspirin, cough syrups, or nose drops all day long and not get bromoquinine's relief. Because bromoquinine does more. Works to relieve stopped-up nose, body aches, fever, irregularity, that blue feeling a cold brings, and the headache, too. Yes, more relief, even for virus colds. And the reason? Bromoquinine is the only cold tablet sold with wonder-working quinine combined with 5 other medicines and health-fortified with vitamin C. That's why bromoquinine cold tablets give you more complete relief. Remember,
Every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold. Millions more take bromoquinine.
get the tablets that have relieved more cold discomforts than any other. Get bromoquinine brand cold tablets. You have just heard X-1 presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Repairman by Harry Harrison. Being an interstellar troubleshooter wouldn't be so bad if only you could shoot the trouble. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. X-1 has brought you Gray Flannel Armor, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Finn O'Donovan and adapted for radio by William Welch. Featured in our cast were William Redfield as Thomas Hanley and Guy Rep as Joe Morris. Others in our cast were Abby Lewis, Pat Harsley, Eddie Galen, Freddie Chandler, and Helen Gerald. This is Fred Collins speaking. This broadcast concludes this series of X-1. We sincerely hope you enjoyed it. X-1 was directed by George Voutsas and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X-1. Tonight, the Ray Bradbury story entitled, And the Moon Be Still as Bright,
The first 3 expeditions for Mars left Earth in a mushroom of flame, arced through the atmosphere, and finally dwindled to tiny specks in the big eye of the Mount Palomar telescope, and then were lost to sight forever. The prearranged landing signals flashed back to Earth, and then the radios went dead. One after the other, ships had disappeared and were never heard from again. But still the rockets came. The 4th expedition emerged from the silent gulfs of space, angled down toward the floating red disk of Mars, down into an orbit as the order came to land. The last blast of the bow jets broke red against the blue desert sands, and the ship slid to a halt at the edge of a vast city that reflected the icy glare of the moonlight. For a while, all was still.
All right, park you. Open the airlock.
Aye, sir. Fresh air.
Hey, it's cold out here.
Who cares? We got here. I thought I'd never hit solid ground again.
Hey, how about a fire, Captain Wiley? It's freezing.
Later. We have work to do.
Oh, smell that air. Why, you could get drunk on it. Say, there's an idea. Why don't we break out a bottle and celebrate?
Biggs, there will be no drinking done till we're secured.
But we're landed, Captain.
3 other expeditions landed and disappeared within 24 hours. Now, we're not relaxing security till we find out what happened to them.
What do you mean, maybe Martians?
Sender, you're an archaeologist. How old would you say they are?
I can't tell till I study them more closely. It's a kind of engineering we couldn't duplicate on Earth.
Well, I'm not interested in the architecture now. I want to make sure there's nothing there that might be dangerous. Mr. Hathaway.
Yes, sir?
I want you and Spender to take a reconnaissance party into the city and find out what's there. We set up camp here. No man is to go more than 50 feet from this rocket. And there'll be no celebration till Hathaway and his party report back.
In the sea bottoms, the wind stirred along faint vapors, and from the mountains, great stone visages looked upon the silvery rocket and the small fire. The sky was black overhead, as the 2 racing moons threw knife-edged double shadows on the desert.
All right, come and get it. Ciao. Hey, what do you got these, Cherokee?
Sawdust, smothered in cold chicken fat.
Good. I thought it was something I couldn't eat. Hey, Captain. Mr. Hathaway's back.
Oh, Captain Wilder.
Oh, yes, over here, Mr. Hathaway. Well?
Most of the city's dead. Spender says it's been dead a good many thousand years, but we found one part about a mile over.
What about it?
People were living in it last week, sir.
People? Martians. Where are they now?
Dead. We found bodies, thousands of bodies. They hadn't been dead more than 10 days.
What did they die of?
You won't believe it.
What killed them?
Chickenpox.
Chickenpox?
Yes.
Where could they get chickenpox?
From Earth.
Oh, then the other rockets did get through.
Yes. I don't know what the Martians did to them, but I sure know what they did to the Martians. They gave them chickenpox and wiped them out. They just didn't have any resistance to an Earth disease.
Think of it, Captain. A race builds itself for 1,000,000 years, refines itself, does everything it can to give itself respect and beauty, and then it dies. Of what? It's like saying the Greeks died of mumps or the proud Roman Empire collapsed because of athlete's foot. We didn't even give them a decent excuse for dying. We just gave them chickenpox.
Spender, get hold of yourself. You didn't see those bodies, Captain.
Yes, I know. It must have been a shock. You need a rest, a little relaxation. The Martians are dead. There's nothing you can do about that now.
Hey, you hear that? The Martians are all dead. Come on, let's break out a bottle and hoop it out. How about a case, eh?
Oh, good Lord. They have to do that now? Isn't there time later to throw old beer cans into the canals?
Bender, you're an idealist. They're not. All they know now is that they're safe. Little shouting won't hurt. You think too much.
How safe on Mars? The first Earthmen on Mars. We're going to celebrate. Yahoo!
20 bottles were opened and drunk. The voices got louder. The earth laughs and shouts echoing across the empty Martian sands. Spender listened to the wind over his ears, cool and whispering. He felt the land getting cooler. The stars grew closer, very near. The air smelled clean and new. He looked at the cool ice of the white Martian buildings over there on the empty sea land.
Oh, what a woman! Hey, what do we do with these empty bottles?
Save them, stupid. There's a 2-cent deposit.
Throw them away! Hey, wait. How about that building? 2 to 1 on a buck, I can heave one right through that window.
You're on.
All right, here goes. Bullseye! Hey, double or nothing on the next shot.
Put that bottle down, Biggs.
Who's there, Mr. Spender?
Stop smashing those windows.
What's the difference? The planet's ours now. I guess I can do anything with it I want.
Drop that bottle or I'll knock your teeth out.
Yeah? Just watch me.
I warned you, Big.
Come on. What's going on here?
Spender! I hit him.
He's crazy, Captain. He just walked up and slugged me.
All right, Biggs. Spender, you come with me. Now, suppose you explain. What was the idea?
The noise, the drunken brawl.
Spender, the men are tired. This has been a long trip. And you have a different way of seeing things.
No, I'm seeing things all right. I'm seeing how we'll ruin Mars. We'll rip it up and rip the skin off the way we've already ruined Earth.
Is that why you hit Biggs?
Yes. I couldn't stand the idea of them watching us make fools of ourselves.
Them?
The Martians. They're dead. They're all dead. But they know we're here. Doesn't an old thing always know when a new thing comes? We've come a long way to smash their windows and spit in their wine.
Well, maybe you're right. But I'm still going to fine you $50 for that fight. Now, come on, Spender. Suck in your chin. We'll go back there and play happy.
Now they moved out into the moonlight across the desert. They made their way into the dreaming, dead city. The light of the racing twin moons glinted on the barrel of a pistol, the long blade of a machete, the round, gurgling shape of a raised bottle. The wind blew in from the dead sea bottom and brushed through the silvery wire filigree of the towers. Strange music drifted down to the double-shadowed streets, a thin, haunted music that played as it had played through the uncounted years of time. Nobody moved. The moons held and froze them. The wind beat slowly around them.
Hey! Hey, you people in the city!
Biggs!
I just want to make a little noise. What kind of a celebration is this, anyway?
Come on.
They built this city thousands of years ago. And now where are they? How did they die?
Who cares? They're dead. That's good enough for me.
Lord Byron.
What?
Lord Byron, a 19th century poet. He wrote a poem that fits this city. Might have been written by the last Martian poet. So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night. Though the heart be still as loving, though the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul outwears its breast. And the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself must rest. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon.
Without a word, the Earthmen stood in the center of the city. It was a clear night. There was not a sound except the music of the wind. At their feet lay a tiled court, worked into the shapes of ancient animals and images. They stood there, silvered by the double moons beneath the crystal towers of Mars. And then Biggs was sick, and the sour stench of liquor filled the cool air. The men of Earth had come to Mars. And Spender turned and walked away into the city, alone in the moonlight, never once stopping to look back. It was a morning that might have been a Monday, or a Tuesday, or any day on Mars. Biggs was on the canal rim, his feet hung down in the cool water, soaking, while he took the sun in his face.
Hey, what are you doing back here, Biggs? Didn't you go out with the search party?
Yeah. I come back. I got a blister.
Oh, yeah. Here.
What do you mean? Look. Look, Cherokee, see that? Anyway, I had enough searching. 4 days hunting for that screwball Spender.
Didn't find him yet, huh?
Oh, good riddance. Oh, my feet. I'm going to soak them in the canal. If I was Wilder, I wouldn't worry about that nut Spender. Let him go. He's a cracked pot anyway.
He's a little foggy upstairs, I guess. Hey, why don't you take your feet out of that canal, Biggs? I got to make coffee out of that water.
Coffee? You call that stuff coffee? I had a motorcycle once that dripped grease that tasted better than...
Wait a minute, Biggs. Hey, look over there.
Where?
By that bush. There's someone there.
Hey.
It's him. Hey, Spender!
Spender?
He's coming over.
Why'd he stay lost, that crazy jerk?
Hi, Spender. Long time no see.
Hello, Cherokee. I've been exploring some ruins.
Oh, you and them ruins. You're like a dog in a boneyard. What's the matter? Well, just say something. Where you been?
Up in the hills. What would you say if I told you I found a Martian?
Oh, yeah?
Where?
Never mind. Let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you were a Martian and people came to your land and started to tear it up?
I know how I'd feel. I've got Cherokee blood in me. My grandfather told me a lot of things about the way they kicked the Indians around in the Oklahoma Territory. If there's any Martian around, I'm all for him.
How about you, Biggs?
They're dead. They're all dead. There's a good thing, too.
Well, I found a Martian. Up in a dead town in the hills. I've been reading their books, and they're easy to understand. And I've learned their language. And then I found this Martian. And I brought him here, now.
I don't see no Martian.
I'm the last Martian.
What did you say?
Biggs, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, cut it out. What kind of a lousy joke is that? Now, don't put that gun away. You're kidding, huh? Spender, you're...
He's dead. You killed him.
You can come with me, Cherokee. You're an Indian. You know how the Martians would feel. You can be with me in this.
You killed him. You just killed him.
He deserved it.
You're crazy.
Maybe I am. But you can come with me.
Come with you for what? Go on, get out of here, crazy murderer.
For all of them, I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd remember what happened to your own people.
You get out of here, you crazy murdering. Don't reach for the gun. Spender.
Hathaway, break out the arms locker. Issue pistols, rifles, and grenades.
Yes, sir.
Dan, you'd better get the Bible out of the navigation chest. We have to bury these two. Now, Parkhill, you start digging a grave.
How about Spender?
We'll have to go up in the hills and find him.
Just let me at him with my bare hands, a crazy murdering louse.
That's enough, Parkhill. Man is sick. He must...
Sick, my eye.
That's enough. Now grab a shovel and start digging.
Spender saw the thin dust rising in the valley, and he knew the pursuit was beginning. The sun burned farther up the sky, and the blue sand drifted lazily across the sea bottom below. He sat beside a quiet pool 10,000 years old and held the silver book. Through the house played the strange wind music of ancient Mars, and he heard voices whisper in his mind.
I hear you. I've always heard you, even down there on Earth. No, I won't run. What's the use?
Live, Earthman.
Live? What for? To see them tear down your temples and put up hot dog stands?
Run.
They've seen me now. They know I'm up here. There's Wilder now. I've got him right in my sights.
Kill, Earthman. Kill.
Funny, he hasn't ordered them to use grenades. They could lob one right up here and blow me to bits. Maybe the captain thinks I'm too nice to be blown to bits. He wants my death to be clean. Just one bullet hole in me, nothing messy. And why? Because he understands me. The only one in the crew who ever did. Well, at least I can do the same for him. Just one bullet in his head, a nice clean death. All I have to do is pull the trigger and it's no use. I can't do it to him.
Spender! Spender! Can you hear me, Spender?
I hear you, Captain. What do you want?
Talk! Truth!
All right. Come on up. Leave your gun down there and keep your hands up.
Oh. That's quite a climb. You mind if I sit down? How long do you think you can hold out?
Until you're all dead.
Oh, why didn't you kill all of us this morning when you had the chance? You could have.
I know. I got sick. After I started killing people, I realized they were just fools and I shouldn't be killing them, but it was too late. So I came up here where I could get angry again.
Why did you do it?
When I was a kid, my folks took me to visit Mexico City. Now, always remember the way my father acted, loud and big. And my mother didn't like the people because she thought they didn't wash enough. I can see my mother and my father coming to Mars and acting the same way. Anything that's strange is no good to us. We aren't fit to take over this planet.
But to kill two men.
How would you feel if a Martian spit on the White House floor?
You know, you haven't acted very civilized yourself.
I'll kill you all off, Wilder. That'll delay the next rocket 5 years, and then I'll kill them, too. And if I'm lucky, I'll live to be 60. And I'll meet every expedition that lands on Mars. Oh, I'll be very friendly. I'll explain our rocket blew up one day. And then I'll kill them off. I'll save Mars for half a century. And by then, maybe the Earth people will give up.
And yet you're outnumbered. We already have you surrounded. In an hour, you will be dead.
I found an underground passage that'll take me back in the hills, Wilder. I'll go back there. And then I'll pick you off one by one.
We'll see. Well, it's a nice town you've got here, Spender. It's beautiful. I'd like to live here.
You can. Join me. You're not like them. Why go back to them, Captain? I'll show you what a good life these people had.
No, there's too much earth blood in me. I may even agree with you about all this, but that does not change what I must do.
You won't stay?
No. This is your last chance, Spender. Look, you're sick. Now come along with me quietly.
No. One last thing. If you win, do me a favor. Try to see that they don't tear this planet apart.
Right.
And if it helps, just think of me as a very crazy fellow who went berserk one summer day. Be easier on you that way.
Now, I'll think that over. So long, Spender.
Bye, Captain. Good luck.
The men spread out again, walking and then running on the hot hillside places where there would be sudden cool grottos that smelled of moss, and sudden open blasting places that smelled of sun or stone. The men ran and ducked and ran and squatted in the shadows.
I'll blow his brains!
Captain Wilder hugged the rock warmed by the sun. He gasped, for the air was thin and not meant for running. Spender lay at the top of the hill, and a gap in the rocks showed the white of his shirt against the shadows. Wilder looked at the towers of the little clean Martian village, like sharply carved chess pieces lying in the afternoon. He saw the rocks, and the interval between, where Spender's chest was revealed.
Go on, Spender, get out. You've only got a few seconds to escape. Go on, get out of the caves. Come back later. Here, go now. I've got to win this. I've got to think that I'm right. Pull this trigger. Go now. Get out.
I'll get him! A slug in the head, I'll blow his body brains!
No, Puck, you! Put down the gun. I'll do this myself.
Splendid. Why didn't you get out? Why? Why? Why?
They buried him in that ancient valley town, where the music of the wind played on through the days and the nights. They laid him in an ancient silver sarcophagus with waxes and wines which were 10,000 years old, his hands folded on his chest. The last they saw of him was his peaceful face in the cold silver light of the racing twin moons. The captain found the poem in Spender's pocket, and he read it before he shut the marble door.
So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night. Though the heart be still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon.
The next afternoon, Parkhill did some target practice in one of the dead cities, shooting out the crystal windows and blowing the tops off the fragile towers. Captain Wilder caught Parkhill and nearly knocked his teeth out.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you the Ray Bradbury story, And the Moon Be Still as Bright, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were John Larkin, Clark Gordon, Dick Hamilton, Nelson Olmsted, Lawrence Kerr, and Stan Early. Your narrator was Norman Rose. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Buck Rogers is on the air, brought to you by the makers of Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle, those delicious frozen confections on a stick. And now a message from the famous winner of the Typical American Boy contest, Popsicle Pete.
Hello, fellas and girls. You know what our gang did? We all saved bags from Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle and got a whole baseball outfit for the team. Balls, gloves, and everything. Boy, they're swell.
Now get Mom and Dad and everybody to help you save bags from genuine Popsicle, Creamsicle, and Fudgicle. And get your choice of hundreds of marvelous gifts. Get a wristwatch, a camera, table tennis, a wallet, lots of things. Bags are easy to save because they come on such swell-tasting confections. Great big, pure Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle, each on a handy stick. What a value for a nickel. So big and so delicious.
I'll say.
And made by the finest ice cream makers from choice, healthful, strictly fresh ingredients.
Say, kids, get a gift list free from your ice cream store and save it. It's got a coupon on it worth 10 bags.
Now, do you remember our last episode? Well, Buck and Wilma finally got on the trail of Black Barney's rocket ship. And we learned that Killer Kane and Ardela, with Barney as their prisoner, have landed at the ruins of ancient Philadelphia, where they're going to set up a new headquarters. Well, let's join them there and see how things are working out. Okay? Then here we go, 500 years into the future.
Well,
Well, Kane, what do we do now?
We make a little trip underground to establish a base of operations, Adela, in what was formerly the headquarters of Professor Smith, the mad scientist.
They're going to use Smithy's old place, huh?
That's what I said. Come on.
Okay.
And handle that psychic restriction ray with care.
Okay.
Yeah, but where are we going? I don't see anything around here that looks like it might be Smith's old headquarters.
There, right in front of you. You see that hole in the ground?
Yeah.
With an old set of concrete stairs running down into it?
Well?
Way back in the 20th and 21st centuries, there was a network of subway lines running all along under the whole city. Now, that was before the Mongol invasion destroyed most of the principal American cities.
But what under the sun are subway lines?
Ever see pictures of railroad trains in your history books?
Sure.
Well, the subways were railroads that ran entirely underground.
Yeah.
Diverted a lot of traffic from the already congested streets on the surface and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff.
Say, maybe the people who lived in those times weren't so dumb after all.
No. But if our friend Rogers weren't so dumb, he'd have stayed in the 20th century where he belonged.
Kane, you know just as well as me that Captain Rogers didn't come to the 25th century on purpose. He got caught in a mine accident, and a lot of gas come out of it, and he was held in suspended animation and all that sort of stuff.
Forget it, Barney. The point is that when Smith came here, he found an ancient subway station located down near the edge of the Delaware River here that was good enough to make into a headquarters. Now, you ought to remember that, Barney. You worked with Smith at one time.
Yeah, that was before I knowed any better. Smithy had it all fixed up with lights and a power planet and all that sort of stuff and things.
And that's why we're lucky in having everything ready for us to settle down here.
Yes, but I still think if Buck and Wilma get anywhere near here, they'll pick this as a logical place to look for us.
But even if they do, they'll never find us. Come along now, down the stairway.
Listen, I don't want to go down there.
Barney, do I have to keep a rocket pistol trained on you to make you do as I say?
Well, you can't make me work for you anyhow.
Quiet. Now pick up that psychic restriction ray and come along.
Okay.
Right down these steps?
Right. Now, what used to be Smith's office is at the end of a corridor at the bottom.
Oh, here's the corridor, all right. Hey, how about some light down here? You can't see very well.
Wait a second, and I'll see if the lighting system's still in order. Now, that's better.
Much. Hey, there's quite an establishment down here, isn't there?
Everything you could want for comfort and convenience. Now, this on the right was his office. Quarters are down the corridor on the left.
Wait a minute, Kane.
Why, yes. That little waterfall down at the end of this room. I wonder how that got there.
Well, I can tell you.
Well?
Well, back in the old days when I was sort of foolish and thought I was an air pirate.
You'd be better off if you were still an air pirate, Barney.
No, sir, Kane, and nothing you will ever say will
right,
ever make me believe it.
All right, go on with your story.
Yeah. Well, one time, me and Louie was down here giving Smitty a hand.
Who's Louie?
Oh, yeah. Louie, he was sort of my right-hand man and all that sort of stuff.
Go on.
Well, Louie didn't like Smitty, and Smitty knowed it, so he kept treating Louie worse and worse, until one day Louie got mad and cut loose with an atomic bomb and blew the place up.
Blew the place up?
Well, didn't exactly do very much damage on account of it wasn't set very good, but it let through some of the water from the Delaware River, and that's what makes a fall.
Then the door to Smith's old laboratory ought to be right behind that waterfall.
Yeah, I guess so. Unless somebody's changed it.
Somebody's changed it? Who's changed it?
Well, somebody well, maybe somebody come along.
You don't know what you mean. Adela.
Yes?
We've got to find out if the door to the laboratory is in back of that waterfall.
Well?
Well, how'd you like to hop through it and see while I keep an eye on Black Barney here?
Oh, and get soaking wet? Not much, Kane. If you want to find out what's on the other side of the waterfall, you can do it yourself. Or make Barney do it.
Hey, now, listen.
Take a chance on there being some way for him to beat it on the other side?
Okay, then it's up to you. See why that laboratory should be of such importance to you anyway.
Adela, If the water hasn't flooded that laboratory, we'll find electrical and scientific instruments that'll mean everything to us.
If it isn't flooded.
That's exactly what we're going to find out now.
What you're going to find out. Go ahead.
No. Wait a minute. The force ray. Give me one of those non-recoil energy projectors.
Sure. Here. What are you going to do with it?
Use it to push the water aside and keep from getting wet.
Oh. Sorry.
Sorry?
Yeah. Thought we were going to have the pleasure of watching you take a soaking.
Never mind that. Just be sure you keep Barney here covered with your rocket pistol. Now, here.
Hey, that's pretty good, Kane. Even if it is you.
It's a laboratory, all right, Adela. And it's in perfect condition.
Good. I'll hold back the water with this force ray while you and Barney go in. And then you can do the same for me with yours.
Right. Come on, Barney.
Okay.
And be sure you don't let that ray machine get wet.
All right, all right.
That's it. Now, put the psychic restriction ray down inside the door here.
Well, now, how about...
Set it down, I said.
But listen,
Hey, King!
see?
What's the hurry, Adela? Take it easy, will you? All right. Come ahead.
Right. Well, this is better.
Now, get all the way inside the laboratory so we can close this door. That's it. And this, my friends, is our new headquarters.
Not bad, Kane. Not bad.
Not bad. It's perfect. And look at these scientific instruments. Smith may have been a bit balmy, but he certainly left us some priceless equipment here. And with that waterfall covering up the door, nobody in the whole wide world would ever discover us here.
No? Why shouldn't somebody else look behind the falls for the door to this place?
Because nobody else knows this place is here.
I hope you're right.
I know I am. Come on, let's get to work. Now, the first thing we've got to do is to put Barney under the psychic restriction ray.
Huh?
Plug it into that power outlet, will you?
Sure.
Listen, Kane, is all you think about the cycle description ray? I'm not going under it, see?
You haven't any choice in the matter, Barney, unless you decide to work along with us voluntarily. How about it?
No, sir. No, sir. I don't know what voluntarily means, but I won't do it.
That's final?
Yes, sir, and nothing you can say will make any difference.
And the ray it is. Let me have the force ray, Adela.
Here you are.
Kane.
Get down on the floor under the ray projector, Barney.
No, sir, Kane. You can't make me...
Down.
Hey, take that force ray off of me. What's the big idea, Kane?
Flat on your back, Barney. And right under the projector lens.
Take it off me, I tell you. You're pushing me right through the floor.
If you don't stop bellowing, I will push you through the floor.
All right. I'll stay. I'll lay still. I'll stay where...
All right. Now, Barney, I warn you. If you try to get out of range of the psychic restriction ray, I'll drive so much energy at you that you'll never get up again. Adela.
Yes?
Turn on the ray.
Right. How's that?
Perfect.
No, sir, Kane. It ain't perfect. And if you got any sense, you'll turn it off again. You hear me, Kane? Turn it off. This thing won't have no effect on me anyhow.
Quiet, Barney. You'll find it much easier if you don't try to make so much noise.
But the light from it hurts my eyes.
You're crazy.
I don't like it anyhow. So take it away. And anyhow, if you think this or anything else is going to make me work for you, why, you're out of my mind. You understand? You're... Listen, Kane. You know, it's funny. This thing ain't so bad after all, is it? Yeah. I kind of think I like it.
It's working, Adela.
Good.
And from now on, Barney is ours.
The reggae is so nice and pretty and beautiful and stuff. Yeah.
Let the brave Captain Rogers try to upset our plans now. Rogers.
Central Radio Bureau, Davidson speaking.
Listen, Dave. This is Buck Rogers.
Oh, hello, Captain.
Contact Dr. Hewer again for me. Tell him we're still on Black Barney's rocket trail and following it with a gas analyzer.
Good, but
We found that it leads almost directly southeast of Niagara in a straight line.
I see, but now...
In other words, toward the ruins of ancient Philadelphia, which would make an ideal headquarters for a person like Killer Kane.
But, Captain,
Now, as I told you before, Dave, the more I think of it, the more I feel he's somehow connected with the disappearance of Barney. Now, will you get all that to Dr. Hewer just as quickly as possible?
But, Captain...
Yeah?
I've been trying to tell you, Dr. Hewer called here just a few minutes ago, and he left a message for you.
Oh, yeah? What'd he say?
He wants you and Lieutenant Wilmer to return to Niagara immediately.
What?
And meet him at his laboratory.
But we can't. We're hot on this trail for the first time. We can't leave it now.
Well, I'm sorry, Captain, but he made it plain that no matter where you were or what you might be doing, he wants you in his laboratory before you go any further.
Well, if he wants us to leave a hot trail, it must be important.
Judging by the way he spoke, it's doggone important.
Okay, Dave. Tell him we're on our way back.
So, Kane and Ardela have poor old Black Barney under the influence of the psychic restriction ray, the instrument that completely subjugates him to their wills. It'll make him not only willing but glad to work with them. But I wonder what Dr. Hewer has up his sleeve.
Just imagine waking up in the morning and finding a package waiting for you. You open it up, and boy, there's a real wristwatch, or a doll, or fishing tackle, or roller skates, or maybe even a movie camera. Now all you have to do is save bags from Popsicle, Fudgicle, or Creamsicle, and you get all those presents free. Hundreds of them to choose from.
It's fun saving bags from Popsicle, Fudgicle, or Creamsicle. They taste so good, and they're so big for a nickel.
I'm having a Fudgicle right now, kids.
A Fudgicle, real creamy chocolate fudge, frozen on a stick. Is that delicious? Be sure the name Fudgicle is printed on the bag. It's the United States registered trademark.
And save those bags, kids. You get swell presents for them.
Presenting the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. These thrilling adventures come to you as they are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, now printed in 32 tabloid-sized pages, each page in full 4 colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. For the benefit of those who may not have heard the earlier episodes, here is the story to date. Flash Gordon, internationally famous American athlete, his beautiful American sweetheart, Dale Arden, and Dr. Zarkov, a great scientist, left the Earth on a rocket ship. They crashed on the planet Mongo and were captured by Ming the Merciless, the cruel emperor of Mongo, who commanded Dale Arden to marry him and ordered that Flash be killed. But Flash escaped through the help of Emperor Ming's beautiful daughter Aura, who fell deeply in love with him and proposed marriage. This Flash refused, saying he loved Dale Arden. Flash then met Thune, the powerful, huge, bearded prince of the Lion Men, and Prince Baron, a former member of Emperor Ming's court. Joined by Dr. Zarkov, these 4 friends plotted to overthrow the government of Emperor Ming and rescue Dale Arden. They were almost successful, but at the last moment, with victory practically within their grasp, were recaptured by Emperor Ming's soldiers, and the 4 friends, together with Dale Arden, were condemned to a fate far worse than death. Securely bound, they were placed on a gyro ship and sent as slaves to the prison city of Hawkmen. Now we continue the story. The prison ship carrying our friends roars through the stratosphere on the way to the prison city of the Hawkmen. In the cell room, Flash and Prince Soon work feverishly on each other's bonds.
Can you get the knot untied, Prince Soon?
It is almost loosened, Flash. Just another twist. There. Thou art free.
Thanks. Now I'll set you free. If we work fast, we may be able to release Darkoff and Barron and get control of the ship.
Good. As soon as thou canst loose my bonds, I will help thee capture the guard and take his keys when he makes his rounds.
There. The rope's undone.
Hark. I hear the guard approaching.
Put your hands behind your back like this and lie still until he bends over to give us food. Then we'll overpower him. All right, now. Here he comes.
Here is your food, prisoners.
Now, friend Soon.
What? I have him fast. Take his keys.
Stop squirming, fellow. I'll give you something to squirm about. Now, I've got his keys, Soon. Now to save Dale, Barron, and Zarkoff. Look out! Be careful! Be careful!
What was that?
We must have struck something. Are you all right, Soon?
Yes. And thou, friend?
I'm okay.
Flash Gordon.
Here. Prince Soon and I are in here.
And you are free. Yes. And how didst thou gain thy liberty, friend?
The crash broke the lock on our cell door. Come quickly. We must go to the control cabin and see about the girl.
Yes, hurry. This way. Dale, where are you? Dale.
I'm here.
Yeah. Are you all right, Dale?
Yes, you girl. Let go of me. I've got to call Ming on the spaceophone.
Send this to Ming with my regards.
He won't be able to transmit your message for quite some time, lad.
Let's get out of here.
Let the others go soon. I need your great strength to help me remove the valuable scientific apparatus from the ship.
Come, Flash. Come, Dale. We have no time to lose.
We're with you, Baron.
Soon. Wrench those spaceographs from their sockets. I will take this space compass. What else wouldst thou like to have removed, friend? That is enough for this trip. Come on outside. Where are our friends, Barron and Flash and Dale? They must have gone into the forest over yonder. What is that rushing sound? By the great god Tao. Look up there. Hawkmen. Run, friends. Run for your lives.
Pennants flying, lances held in readiness, a squadron of savage hawkmen hurtle from the skies. They seize Soon and Zarkoff and sweep them into the air. While in the forest, numb with horror, Flash, Dale, and Barron watch their friends carried away toward a city suspended in space, the prison city of Hawkmen.
There they go with Soon and Zarkoff.
And that, friend, is the end of them.
What do you mean, Prince Barron?
No man captured by the Hawkmen has lived to tell about it.
How terrible.
You'll see about that, Barron.
It's hopeless, Flash. Look, their city drifts high in the heavens, held up by powerful light beams.
What are we going to do now?
Let's go back to the wrecked ship. We may be able to fix it.
I'm afraid the ship is beyond repair, Flash. But perhaps it won't do any harm to speed.
Flash, I see a rustling sound.
Why, it's a rocket ship bearing down on us.
It's going to land.
It made a perfect landing. I wonder who the pilot is.
A girl is getting out. She's holding a ray pistol.
Why, it's Princess Order. Well, Princess, this is a surprise.
I followed you to give you your last chance, Flash Gordon.
What do you mean, Princess?
Keep out of this, Dale Arden. He knows what I mean.
I suppose you still want me to marry you.
Yes. Marrying me and the Empire is yours. And your friends go free.
And if I refuse?
The Hawkmen, with my aid, will kill all of you. You shall never marry this Earth girl, Dale Arden.
My dear Princess, if I must make a choice, I choose Dale and death.
Flash, darling.
Good for you, Flash.
You have signed our death warrant. But I don't care as long as we are together.
I'm glad, Dale. That's just how I feel, too.
Very well. You have made your choice. I go to the Hawkmen.
Well, there goes the haughty beauty. In an hour, every Hawkman in Mungo will be after us.
Prince Barron's prophecy comes true. He, Flash, and Dale are captured by the Hawkmen and dragged before the throne of their king, mighty Voltan. There the prisoners find Aura leaning on the arm of the great throne, while King Voltan explains to her,
The laws of Mongo allow you to judge the fate of one of these prisoners, Princess. The others belong to me.
I will take the yellow-haired youth. Make him pay for scorning me. Incidentally, by torturing him, I can also torture the Earth Girl.
So be it. Take the man to the torture chamber.
No, I beg you. Kill me, but spare Flash.
But let the girl stay with me. So, you're in love with this youth, eh?
In love with him? Why, just because I begged for Flash's life doesn't mean I love him.
No.
He is but a youth. You, impressive Majesty, you are a man.
My pretty bird, you have discernment. I took you at your face value, but I see I was wrong. You have an unusual appreciation of men.
Thank you, impressive Majesty. I can also appreciate compliments.
Soon I shall show you how your friends have failed to stand the rigors of the torture chamber.
I don't care much for tortures, Your Majesty, but I guess you can't help doing what the Emperor's daughter tells you to do.
Emperor's daughter? I give orders in this city, but now it's your fate.
Yes, impressive Majesty.
I shall make you my wife as soon as the High Priest can make happen.
In the meantime, down in the torture chambers, Flash and his friends have been put to work stoking the great atom furnaces of the Hawkmen. Driven nearly mad by the terrible heat and the anxiety of wondering what is happening to Dale, Flash is all for rebelling. He throws a shovelful of flaming radium at a guard. The captain of the guard reaches for the switch, which will electrocute Flash by passing the current through a wire fastened to his leg iron. But Dr. Zarkov rushes up and pleads,
Do not kill him, Captain. He is but an impetuous youth. We will make him work.
Then see that he does. If he starts any more trouble, he shall die.
Thank you, Captain.
Get back to work, the rest of you slaves.
Thanks, Dr. Zarkov, but I'd just as soon die. Dale's lost him.
Patience, Flash. Zarkov and I have a plan. Come over here, behind this lead wall.
What are you going to do, Baron?
I shall keep watch for the guards. Get to work, Zarkov.
Quickly. Here, Flash. Break these wires off your manacles and wrap them around your shovel.
All right. There. Now what are you going to do?
You heard what the captain said. If you start any more trouble, he will electrocute you. When I give you a signal, jump up and throw your shovel into that radium bin over there.
And get myself killed for it?
I promise you, you will not die. Do as I tell you.
All right. Now?
Is the coast clear, Barry?
No one is looking this way.
Now, Flash.
Come on, men. Follow me. Better death than slavery. Mutiny. Then die like a rat. Here goes the switch.
The electric current ignited the radium ore. It worked. It worked.
Now's our chance to escape.
I'm going to find Dale.
Back in the sumptuous quarters of Voltan, king of the Hawkmen, he and Dale are awaiting the arrival of the High Priest to perform the marriage ceremony.
Well, my pretty little bird, soon you'll be the bride of Voltan the Mighty. But suppose you give me a little kiss while we're waiting for the High Priest, eh? Come here.
Oh, no. Don't touch me.
What? You repulse me, Earth Girl? Come here.
Keep away from me, you fat fool. Flash, darling.
Take your hands off her, Bolton.
With a yell of fury, Flash drives his fist to Bolton's jaw. The mighty king staggers back and, bellowing like a mad bull, sinks his steel singered fingers into Flash's throat. His left hand reaches for his dagger.
Flash, look out for his dagger.
A smashing left and a crushing right-hand uppercut that would have killed an ordinary man knocked Voltan into unconsciousness.
That settles that out. Dale, did he hurt you?
No. Oh, my darling. I feel so safe in your arms. They're so strong, yet so tender.
These arms were meant to hold you and protect you. By heaven, they will, as long as I have life.
My dear. Oh, where are Barron and Zarkov and Boone?
Zarkov and Barron are working on some scientific gadget. Boone and I separated looking for you. Come, we'll join him.
Did you kill Waldron?
I don't know. There's no time to waste finding out.
Which way do we go from here?
Look. Soldiers. Coming this way. Turn to the right, Dale, down that other passage.
More soldiers. Flash, we're trapped.
Back to Waldron's quarters, Dale. We can bar the door and hold them off while we arrange to escape by the window. There. We're back in Waldron's quarters and we've escaped the soldiers.
Now what?
No, you're firing, squad.
Waldron!
Why, you...
Stay where you are. I have this ray pistol trained on you. The slightest move and both of you will be blown to dust.
Don't hurt the girl. I surrender.
What's that? Light! Light! Who turned off the light?
Flash, the floor is tipping off.
Don't worry, Dale. I'll save you. What is happening to the city of Hawkmen, perched so perilously 5,000 feet above the ground on the planet Mongo? What terrifying experiences await our friends? Be sure to listen in again next week for the continuation of the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. The same all-star American athlete who will appear in full-color pictures next Sunday on the big 32-page Comic Weekly supplement of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. What a treat is in store for you in next Sunday's Comic Weekly. For besides Flash Gordon, you'll find the greatest array of funny people ever assembled in any magazine, waiting to entertain you. Just think of it. Bringing Up Father, The Little King, Barney Google, Polly and her pals, Toots and Casper, Pete the Tramp, good old Skippy, and your friends the Katzenjammer Kids, and last but by no means least, that mischievous, lovable little fellow, Mickey Mouse. Yes, they'll all be there, besides Ace Drummond, Radio Patrol, Jungle Jim, Red Barry, and all your other favorites. Be sure to get this big 32-page Comic Weekly with your Hearst newspaper next Sunday. And now, goodbye until next week at this time, when we'll be back with another amazing interplanetary adventure of Flash Gordon.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, for whom the Scarlet Widow has today set a cunning trap. By a strange chemical action, a piece of the shattered planet Krypton on which Superman was born robs the Man of Steel of all his great strength when he comes within 10 feet of it. A woman called the Scarlet Widow arranged to have the kryptonite stolen from the Metropolis Museum and then assembled Superman's 4 deadliest enemies, the Vulture, Der Teufel, Papa Rausch, and the Laugher, and offered to sell each of them 1/4 of the kryptonite for $1 million. They demanded that the widow prove the power of the kryptonite. She agreed. And as we continue now, on the moonlit terrace of her penthouse apartment, the gaunt, ugly widow, her little henchman Sniggers, and the 4 master criminals wait tensely. Behind them in the almost darkened drawing room, a green, glowing, eerily humming fragment of kryptonite rests on a marble pedestal. Listen.
What time is it now with that?
11:57, Sniggers. In exactly 3 minutes at midnight, you'll see Superman in the sky to the west, above the Metropolis Bank spire.
Suppose he doesn't show up.
He will, Vulture.
How can you be so sure? The Daily Planet did not publish the advertisement you sent them.
I explained that before, Papa Rausch. The Daily Planet seems to have some sort of contact with Superman, especially a reporter named Clark Kent.
Kent, he's the one what was in the museum with the bobbies last night when I copped the kryptonite.
Yes, I'm sure he saw to it that my advertisement came to the attention of Superman. Just 2 minutes more and we'll know. You've got the red, white, and blue flashlights ready, Sniggers.
Right there, got the 3 of them right here.
As soon as we see him, I give you the word. Flash them one at a time. Then you, Vulture, and Teufel, Papa Rausch, and Laugher, step back into the drawing room and stand near the kryptonite where you'll be safe.
Widow, I just thought of something.
Superman is clever as well as amazingly powerful. If he does appear, how are we going to persuade him to come within 10 feet of the kryptonite?
Himmel, I forgot that.
Yeah.
He won't be such a fool.
Don't worry, gentlemen. I, too, thought of that, and I've made the necessary arrangements. Snickers and I cut some small fragments from the kryptonite.
Tapping a cutting steel, it was.
We buried them in the flower pots around the room and terrace. The flower pots and plants are green, and the fragments are so tiny that the faint green glow they give off won't be noticed. I hope.
Superman has the eyes of an eagle.
2 eagles.
My instructions said he had to arrive here within 5 seconds after he saw the signal lights, if he wanted to obtain the kryptonite. He'll see the big piece on the pedestal, and us, by the time he notices the tiny particles in the flower pots, if he does. It'll be too late.
Ain't she got her head on her, though?
Yeah, but what if it...
What is that?
A church clock striking midnight. Now watch above the Metropolis Bank spire. Straight west there. In a moment you'll see Superman.
Look, there he is.
Yes. I told you he'd come.
All
All of you, get back near the kryptonite.
Hurry, all of you, get back here.
Ready with the flashlight, Snickers. First the red, then the white, then the blue. Hold each one about a second, then repeat.
As the 4 criminals rush into the drawing room and Sniggers prepares to signal Superman, the Man of Steel hovers above the tall bank spire, his keen eyes searching the east.
I don't see any signal lights. Wait. There's a red light flashing. And a white. And a blue. From that penthouse terrace. A man and a woman there. Ah, the man is the little cockney who stole the kryptonite. It must... Yes, there it is. On a pedestal in the apartment. And those 4 men near it. I thought so. Der Teufel, the Laugher, Papa Rausch, and the Vulture. Now, what... Oh, so that's the little trap they set for me, eh? Tiny particles of kryptonite hidden in those flower pots. They thought I wouldn't see them. Well, I'll just get the police and we... No, I can't let them out of my sight. They said they'd only wait 5 seconds. Uh-oh, there they go back into the house now. What'll I do? I can't lose the kryptonite again, and I can't risk letting Teufel and those others get away. Those tiny pieces of kryptonite might not affect me. They don't glow much. And I'll stay away from the big fragment. Oh, I'm taking a long chance, but I've got to. If I feel myself going weak, I'll get away. All right, here goes, then. Down to that terrace. Down! Good evening.
Look, there he is.
Superman.
Well, this seems just like old home week. I'm not surprised to see you here, Teufel, and you others. I suppose you are the woman who signed that advertisement, madam?
Yes, I'm the widow. Come in, Superman.
No, thanks. I'll stay here if you don't mind.
He's afraid of the blooming kryptonite, he is.
You and I have a score to settle later, my little cockney friend, but we'll get to that. All right, widow and gentlemen. What have you got to say now when you see the kryptonite fragments so cleverly hidden in the flower pots don't affect me?
Look, it's the kryptonite. It's getting him.
I've got to get away.
Up. Why don't you fly, Mr. Superman?
Down there.
Yeah. He's fainted.
Blimey, just like it happened last night. Out like a light he is.
I cannot believe it. The swineherd lies like a dead body.
You were right, widow. You're wonderful.
His heart still beats. Quick, help me pull him to the big piece of kryptonite. We keep him there until he dies.
Yeah.
Splendid idea, Teufel. Give us a hand, Laffer.
Wait, stop where you are, all of you.
Why, widow? We have him now. We will finish him forever.
Yes, and then you won't have to buy the kryptonite. Is that it? Very smart, my friends, but it won't work. If you want to destroy Superman, that's your affair. But you'll each have to pay me $1 million for a quarter share of the kryptonite. First.
You're a clever woman, widow. Much too clever.
Be careful, Vulture. I had you brought from the death house. Just one word from me and you'll go back.
She's right, Vulture. Let's play it her way. It's worth $1 million. With Superman out of the way, the sky has a limit for us. All right, widow. Divide the kryptonite. I'll pay for my share.
So will I.
All right. I'll pay too.
Good. Sniggers,
yes.
Get the children drilled. Hurry.
Right here with you. $4 million. Sleep tight, Mr. Superman.
Gleefully, Sniggers rushes off to bring tools to divide the kryptonite among Superman's deadliest enemies, while the Man of Steel sprawls motionless at their feet. We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode.
Say, gang, it's not only a good idea for you to have a smart sundial wristwatch, the kind Kellogg's Pep is putting out, but all your friends ought to have one, too. Sure, because then you can tell time with the sun and make arrangements to meet. Like I'll see you at the football field when the shadow falls on 4. Or a club meeting will start when the shadow falls at 3. You see, this sundial wristwatch is doggone good-looking. There's a shiny aluminum dial about as big around as a regular wristwatch held flat to your wrist by a smart-looking strap. When you want to tell the hour, you just lift a pointer on the dial and aim it due north. The sun's rays will make the shadow of the pointer fall on the dial, and that's the hour of the day. Now, here's a tip. I won't be telling you about this swell sundial wristwatch much longer, so you better send for yours today. First, ask Mom to get you a couple of packages of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Tear off the 2 box tops, be sure you get the ones marked top, and send them along with 10 cents in cash and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 157, Battle Creek, Michigan. Let me give you that again. Send 2 Kellogg's Pep box tops, the ones marked top, 10 cents in cash, and your full name and address to Superman, Box 157, Battle Creek, Michigan. Ask Mom for P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman. In the Scarlet Widow's penthouse apartment, where Superman lies unconscious on the floor, Sniggers, working with drills and chisels, has finally succeeded in splitting the kryptonite into 4 equal parts. Her small, bright eyes gleaming, the widow turns to her unscrupulous guests.
Now, gentlemen, about the financial arrangements.
I will take my share of the kryptonite now.
Not so fast, Teufel. The terms are cash in hand.
I have no cash in hand. What will this do?
He's got a gun here.
Put that gun down, Teufel.
What, do you take me for a fool? Don't make a move now, any of you, or I will shoot to kill.
You haven't a chance, you cheap double-crosser. The only way out of this apartment is by private elevator. My men are guarding it. They'll kill you.
Oh, no, my friend. While all of you watch the kryptonite being cut, I managed to attach a long nylon rope which I brought with me to the terrace railing. I can reach the roof of the building next door by the rope, and I'm going to lock this door to the terrace behind me. By the time you get to the terrace, I will be out of sight. It's dark enough for my purposes, and I have great purposes in mind. Now I have a piece of the kryptonite. Auf Wiedersehen to you all.
You got it.
Break this door down, somebody!
It's too thick, me.
Break it down!
That door, I'll break it down.
Hurry, Martha!
Just let me get my life into that blow.
Look out. There.
Where is he? Where is he?
I don't see him. There he goes across the roof down there. I've got a gun.
No, don't shoot, Laffer.
Why not? Are you off your knob with he? Just ran off with $1 million of our money.
We can't have the police here, you fools. Superman's here. Now listen, all of you. Leave your kryptonite here and go after Teufel.
Leave the kryptonite?
No.
What do you say?
You'll do as I say. You all have your gangs. Go to them. Tell them they must find their Teufel. Bring him to me. Then you can have your share of the kryptonite, not before. Now get going, all of you, unless you prefer to return to jail.
Well, I'll find Teufel. Come on, Vulture. Rush.
Go on now. Hurry. Get out. Sniggers,
Yes,
show them to the elevator.
Oh, come on now, gents. Out you go.
Hurry back, Sniggers. We have important matters to attend to. As for you, Superman, I have further plans for you, too.
Wild with rage, the Scarlet Widow glares down at the unconscious figure of Superman. What are her plans for the Man of Steel? Don't miss tomorrow's exciting episode, fellows and girls. Tune in, same time, same station, and listen to The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman.
Fellas and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal presents
The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, against whom the glowing kryptonite has at the moment won victory for his bitterest enemy, the Scarlet Widow. What will she do next? As we know, the Scarlet Widow is in possession of a piece of the shattered planet Krypton, which robs Superman of all his strength when he comes within 10 feet of it. Assembling Superman's 4 deadliest enemies, the Vulture, Papa Rausch, Der Teufel, and the Laugher, the Widow set a trap for Superman by hiding tiny particles of the kryptonite about her apartment. The Man of Steel saw the trap, but pitted himself against it in a desperate attempt to capture the kryptonite and the 4 master criminals. Failing, Superman lost consciousness, and the Widow was about to sell each of the conspirators a quarter of the kryptonite when Der Teufel drew a gun and escaped with his share. Enraged, the Widow sent the others in pursuit of Teufel. And as we continue now, her gaunt, ugly face contorted in fury, the Scarlet Widow glares down at the unconscious figure of Superman. Listen.
Blimey, Widow. But I get the creeps seeing Superman lying there. We better up it before he wakes up.
The particles of kryptonite in the flower pots will keep him unconscious, Sniggers. Oh, what a fool I was letting Teufel cheat me out of $1 million.
The dirty blighter. We got 3 ounces of the blooming kryptonite left, though. And the Vulture and Pepper Rausch and the Laugher will give us $1 million apiece for them.
That's only $3 million. My price was $4.
Now, listen to me, Widow. Take what we can, I says, and let's get away from here fast before this Superman bloke wakes up.
He won't wake up. He'll never wake up.
What do you mean by that, now? The blooming kryptonite knocks him out, it does, but he ain't dead. You can see him breathing. He might wake up any minute and... Wait, you hear that?
Oh.
It's Superman, he's coming too. I warned you, Widow. I told you.
Shut up, you fool. Get the 3 big pieces of kryptonite out of the lead box. Hurry.
No, we better skip out.
You do as I say. Superman knows us. If he lives, we'll never be safe wherever we go. We've got to finish him now.
How are we going to do that? I don't like it. We ought to up it.
Kryptonite, Sniggers, hurry.
I am, Widow.
I remember. You will.
Oh, you fool! What did you do?
From my foot. I caught it in the blasted lamp cord, I did.
Sniggers, Der Teufel and the
Get out of the way, you clumsy.
Where are they?
I'll get the kryptonite.
Superman, he's got up.
There
Look
we
out,
are.
Widow.
You're too late, Widow.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
Now, the box is open.
Good, Widow, good.
No, you don't. No. Stop it.
Look at Widow. Running like a drunk again.
Stop it. No.
Look.
Oh.
Like a blooming light he is. No, my heart near stopped beating when I see him come for us. Come on, Widow. We better get out
Not
of here.
yet. Put the 3 pieces of kryptonite down here.
What for? I tell
You shut your stupid mouth and do as I say. You almost spoiled things for us once. Mustn't happen again. Get the kryptonite.
Well, I can't understand you, Widow. This is our chance to get away.
I told you before. He'll pursue us wherever we go. We've got to destroy him now, forever.
How do you expect to do that?
We'll put 1 piece of kryptonite close to his head, the other 2 next to his body, near his heart.
Oh.
That ought to finish him.
Say now, it ought to at that. Well, wait now, Widow. If Superman's dead, the Vulture and Pepper Rausch and the Laugher won't buy the kryptonite from us.
They're not going to know he's dead, you fool. Put the pieces on the floor.
But they won't, no, you say? How won't they?
Leave that to me. Now.
Whoa! The blooming
Put your gloves on.
Burns.
Hurry.
Righto.
Then place the pieces the way I show you.
All right.
Put 1 piece here, next to his head. Oh, that's it. Now 1 piece next to his heart. Here. That's fine.
Yeah.
The 3rd piece on the other side of his head.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
That should take care of Mr. Superman.
Yeah, a clever one, Widow. How long you suppose it'll take?
Not too long. If only I had Teufel here to deal with at the same time.
Oh, the telephone. Who's that
Maybe
now?
they've caught Teufel. I'll answer it. Hello? Yes, Vulture. Did you?
The Vulture, did he get him?
Quiet, Sniggers. Go on, Vulture. You said... Yes?
What?
Yes? He did, eh? Sure, he might have. Right, at once. Yes, averted. Goodbye. Now, let's see.
What's up with
The
that?
Vulture says they traced Teufel to a drugstore, but he got away. The druggist treated Teufel's hand for a burn.
He must have burned himself with the kryptonite.
I wish he'd burned his hand off. The druggist said he made a phone call, too. The Vulture thinks Teufel might have called the police and tipped them off as to where Superman is.
Whoa.
So that we'd be arrested and Teufel could get away. Give me a hand with this cedar chest, Sniggers.
Well, what for? We got to get out of here before the Bobby shows up.
Leave Superman while he's still alive? Help me pull this chest over to him.
Are you daffy? We can't bother with Superman now.
We must. We can't leave him here alive. Don't just stand there, you fool. Help me.
Righto. But if the Bobby catches us, we get the chair.
They won't catch us. I hope. There. There, that's far enough. Now, open the chest.
All right.
Oh, Sniggers.
All
right. Help me get Superman in there. I'll take him under the shoulders. You take his legs.
I don't like it, I tell you. The Bobbies...
Will you forget the Bobbies? Come on. Lift.
Oh, he's heavy. He is. How are we going to get him out of here? The police will be along any minute.
We'll be warned in plenty of time if they come.
Oh.
Chuck and Renee are on the lookout downstairs. There. That does it. Just double up his legs so his head will be lower.
All right.
There. The lid of the chest should close now. No. Wait a minute.
What?
Get the chisel and shave a corner off one of the pieces of kryptonite.
Well, what for?
Will you stop asking questions and do as you're told?
Oh, what?
So Superman won't be lonesome, of course.
I never seen such a woman as you with her. We're in danger, we are, and you're making jokes.
This is far from a joke, Sniggers. We're going to take Superman for a ride.
A ride?
Yes, a one-way ride.
Oh.
And to make sure that even he can't come back from it, we're going to send a piece of kryptonite along with him. Now, hurry, Sniggers. Chop a piece off.
You're right out.
I'll get Turk up here with the elevator.
Hurrying into the foyer, the Scarlet Widow presses the button to summon her private elevator. We'll return in a moment for the startling climax of today's episode. But first, let's stand by for a friendly tip.
You know, all the gang is so excited with the idea of having a real modern sundial wristwatch that, well, there's a great demand for Kellogg's Pep at the breakfast table, believe me. Of course, all the gang likes that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal because it is super delicious. But boys and girls are making a beeline for those Pep box tops so that they can send in for their sundial wristwatch. And is it a honey? A real shiny aluminum dial held flat to your wrist by a regular strap. You can wear it when you go hiking or to club meetings so that you can tell time by the sun. All you do is to lift the pointer and aim it due north. The sun's rays will make the shadow of the pointer fall on the dial to show you the hour of the day. Isn't that easy? And it's just as easy to get one of these sundial wristwatches. Ask Mom to get you a couple of packages of Kellogg's Pep. Tear off 2 box tops. Be sure you get the ones marked top, and send them along with 10 cents in cash and your name and address clearly printed to Superman, Box 157, Battle Creek, Michigan. Now, don't put it off because there's a time limit on this offer. Send in your order today for a modern, streamlined sundial wristwatch. You get it for only 10 cents and 2 box tops from P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman. Loading the cedar chest containing the unconscious Superman into a station wagon, the Scarlet Widow, Sniggers, and 2 brawny henchmen, Turk and Renee, drove through the dark streets of Metropolis to a small cove on the seacoast where a motorboat was moored. Now, as a damp, swirling fog shrouds the moon and stars, Turk steers the motorcraft out to sea. In the middle of the boat sits the widow, her small, bright eyes shining. The shivering little Sniggers sits beside her, and behind them, rocking with the motion of the boat, is the cedar chest.
How far out are we, Turk?
About 2 miles.
That ought to be far enough. Stop the boat.
Okay.
Oh, I hope there's no harbor police out here.
If there are, they can't see us in this fog. Give Turk a hand with the chest, Sniggers.
Oh,
ready, Turk?
Sure. This job won't be hard. Who's the guy we're feeding to the fish?
None of your business. Help him, Sniggers.
Righto. We ought to put more rocks in the chest with her. Oh, that there cedar wood is like cork, it is.
I want to get this job over with. The chest will stay down long enough for our purposes.
I sure hope so. I wouldn't like this bloke coming back from no watery grave after me.
Don't worry, he won't. Put your ear to the chest. Can you hear the kryptonite?
Oh, is it? Hums like a blooming hive of bees, it does.
Good. That and the sea will take care of our friend for keeps. All right, boys. Heave him over.
Grab hold there, Sniggers.
Watch out.
Easy, does it?
Just get her up a bit higher. Watch it, you sap. You almost hit the
You clumsy bullshitter. I'm a little jittery. I am remembering who's in this box.
Never mind that. Get rid of him.
There now. That's better. Hold it. Okay, let her go.
Ah. There he goes.
Toodaloo, Mr. S. That's the last of you, it is.
As the Scarlet Widow looks on, the cedar chest containing the unconscious Superman, with a piece of the deadly kryptonite at his side, falls into the fog-swept sea, rocks for a moment, and then sinks slowly beneath the waves. A moment more as the Scarlet Widow and Sniggers watch eagerly, and it is lost to view in the dark depths. Is Superman gone forever? Have his enemies triumphed at last over the Man of Steel, and the truth and justice for which he fought and lived? Fellows and girls, don't miss tomorrow's dramatic episode. Every moment of it is exciting. Tune in, same time, same station, for the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellas and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. It's a quiet day at Space Academy. And in their dormitory room, Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning are taking some time off for a bit of intensive study. Suddenly, the silence is broken by a message on the intercom.
Attention, please. Attention, please. Cadets Corbett and Manning report to briefing room number 3 on the double. Cadets Corbett and Manning on the double to briefing room 3.
Number 3, that'll be the next door, Roger.
Wait a minute, Tom. Let me cross my fingers.
For what?
Luck. I only hope it's Captain Strong and not Commander Arkwright in there.
What's the difference? If you're in a jam, you're in a jam.
Not quite. The captain just sort of trims my jets, but the commander, he blasts them.
Fingers all crossed?
And toes. Let's go. No commander. Thank Jupiter.
How do you do, gentlemen? How do you do, sir?
Cadets Corbett and Manning.
That's right, sir.
Permit me to introduce myself, Colonel Roscoe Wilberforce.
Colonel?
The rank is an honorary one. Here, these orders from Commander Arkwright will better explain my presence.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Wilberforce. That's a familiar name, sir.
It should be, my boy. To make it known, I've spent enough credits to have it emblazoned across the sky in letters of fire. I, Cadet, and the proprietor and sole owner of Wilberforce's worldwide circus, the greatest show on earth.
Of course. I remember seeing it when I was a kid.
Well, Grandpa, you're going to see a lot more of it.
You've read the orders?
Yes, sir.
What cooks, Tom?
We're being placed on detached service and charged with transporting the Colonel's circus to the planet Venus.
A circus?
Not a, my boy. The circus.
Through space, I may be blast happy, but I don't get it.
A cultural mission of the greatest magnitude, Cadet Manning. An interplanetary circus. Yes, for the first time, the greatest show on Earth shall become the greatest show in the universe.
We're transporting a 3-ring circus through space.
Only one, my boy. This is in the nature of an experiment.
The orders say that you have a space freighter for transportation.
That's right, Cadet Corbett. The Leo. Most suitably named for the first lion I ever owned. A splendid beast.
Which brings up another point. Are there going to be animals in this space circus, Colonel?
But of course, lad. What circus would be a circus without animals? We'll be transporting my star act, Princess Marja, and her 20 ferocious felines.
20?
You think that's too many?
I think 1 is too many.
Roger. We can't actually say, Colonel, until we see the ship and its loading and storage facilities.
Excellent. I have a jet car outside to take us to the spaceport.
Are your animal men handy so that we can discuss the problem with them?
Princess Marja herself is there with my chief animal handler, Vance Tremor.
Princess? Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
That's it, Princess.
Are all the cats fed, Vance?
Tearing the meat apart and purring like kittens. When's the Colonel going to show up with those space jockeys?
Well, he left the academy a few minutes ago. Ought to be here shortly.
Think I got time to get a bite before they show up?
Sure, go ahead, Vance. Just tell me where you'll be in case we need you, huh?
Down at the spaceport cafeteria. I'll see you in about 20 minutes.
Hello, Vance.
Hi, Mr. Dimitro.
You're late. What kept you?
Feeding the cats. Here, let me punch up my food order. This apple pie, cup of coffee. That's all. As soon as I get my food, we can talk. Okay. Now, what's on your mind, Mr. Dimitro?
Can't you guess?
I ain't bad. Well, now, my guess would be you won't offer me a job with your circus.
Let's suppose you're right. I got a good outfit. Not as big as Wilberforce's, but it can be.
Not if he pulls off this interplanetary tour. With all the publicity and advertising he'll get, your show won't draw a fly.
I know that. But suppose he can't pull it off. The publicity will backfire. What's more, he'll lose a fortune in credits.
Which could put him out of business and leave you without competition. Well, what's your offer?
Offer?
Don't be coy, Mr. Dimitro. You want me to sabotage, ruin the Wilberforce show. So what'll you pay?
Blunt, aren't you?
I get to the point, that's all.
Good. Shall we say 50,000 credits?
I never did like round numbers. I prefer percentages.
Meaning?
I do the job, and we're partners. I get a 50% interest in your show.
Half the show? That's ridiculous.
Half of something is better than all of nothing.
Outrageous. I certainly...
And nothing's what you'll have if this interplanetary stunt works. We got a deal?
Look here,
Is it a deal?
I can't give... All right. It's a deal.
Good. And we're partners.
What do you plan to do?
I don't know yet. But you can bet your last credit on this, partner. Wilberforce's circus is never going to give a performance on Venus. Or, for that matter, anywhere else.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Say, spaceman, have you sent for your space goggles yet? Well, if you haven't, listen carefully. The time to get this special Space Cadet equipment is now. Ask Mom to get a package of Kellogg's Pep. You'll enjoy that hearty whole wheat flavor. And Kellogg's Pep helps you take advantage of this exciting Space Cadet offer. These official space goggles are the same kind worn by Tom Corbett, Astro, and Roger Manning out in space. In fact, every cadet is issued space goggles by Space Academy Supply Headquarters. Now, here's where you come in. Supply Headquarters now has space goggles ready for all spacemen. They're ready to send them out to you right now. Oh, when you see these goggles, spacemen,
They're made of one sweeping curved piece of clear, colored plastic, like a giant bubble covering both eyes. These goggles are designed for high-speed action, while you want to use them every time you're out on skates, on a bike, or riding in a car. Now, here's how to get your own official space goggles. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address. Now, make sure you write that down, spaceman. 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address. Now, send them to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Repeat, Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Be ready to blast off like a real space cadet. Send for your official space goggles today.
Tom Corbett and Roger Manning are on detached service from Space Academy under orders to help transport an Earth circus to the planet Venus. Now, with circus owner Roscoe Wilberforce, they arrive at the spaceport, where the circus is ready to be loaded aboard the space freighter Leo.
Oh, I have been waiting for you, Colonel.
Meet Cadets Corbett and Manning. And this, gentleman, is Marja, mistress of 20 ferocious felines.
Keep the dealing, Colonel. My friends call me Maggie O'Neill.
Swell. I definitely plan on being friends.
How nice.
Marja, the boys are going to supervise the loading of our space freighter. They want to see what plans you've made for transporting the cats.
All right, Colonel. I'll show them the setup.
I'm going to check up on some financial details. If you need me, I'll be in the box office car.
I'm sure Miss O'Neill can take care of us, Colonel. I know she can.
Yes, of course. I'll see you later.
All right, gentlemen, if you'll follow me.
It'll be a pleasure.
Simmer down, space boy. This is business.
Tell me, gorgeous, how did a dreamy space doll like you ever become an animal trainer?
At a very early age, I got my start taming wolves. Like you.
Oh. Satisfied, Roger? I feel a drop in the temperature. Suddenly become as cold as the rings of Saturn.
Well, let's go into the menagerie tent. My big cats can always make it hot for you.
Come on, Roger, let's go.
And here's the last of my beauties. Cecil, meet some space jockeys.
He doesn't sound like a Cecil. Hey, don't put your hand in there.
He likes to have his ears rubbed. Got a bit of wolf in him.
Wolf?
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Manning. Rub his ears.
Thanks, but I've still got a lot of use for this arm.
So I gathered. Too bad. You know the old saying, love me, love my cat.
I think you've met your match, Roger. Well, Miss O'Neill, where are the shipping cages?
Why, the ones they're in. We've always used them on the tour.
Well, this is a little more than a tour, especially for 20 animals.
But why can't you...
You see, miss, when a rocket ship blasts off, everything has to be fastened down tight, including the crew.
I don't get it. What's the problem?
On blast-off, if those animals aren't secure, they'll be thrown to the floor of their cages with enormous force, enough to kill them, perhaps. Sure, you're just going to have to tie your pets down, sweetheart.
Very funny, Mr. Manning. Very funny.
No, Miss O'Neill, Roger means it. Tell me, when the cats get sick, how does the veterinarian treat them? If he's smart, he shoots them.
Those animals are worth 5,000 credits apiece. You don't shoot 5,000 credits. You use the vet's cage over there.
This one with the strap?
Uh-huh.
Oh, how does it work?
Well, the sick animal's prodded into the cage.
Mm-hmm.
We snag his feet, throw him down, and then pass those leather straps over the animal.
Which straps him down so he can't move at all.
Right. That way, a vet can even pull an animal's tooth and hat.
Some fun. There's our answer. Equip 20 cages with straps. Tie the animals down for blast-off and release them afterwards.
Oh, we could do that.
Wait, look, honey, as far as I'm concerned... As far as you're concerned, Roger, you'd better start developing an affection for cats. Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Pretty kitty. Nice kitty. You're crazy, Cadet.
All right, Vance. When I open the cage, you start prodding Cleopatra into the other cage.
Cleopatra yet?
Tom and Roger, as soon as her paws get in those loops, pull her up against the bars of the cage. Then Vance and I'll anchor her to the floor.
Okay, we're ready.
Well, here goes. Poke her, Vance.
Go on, Cleo, move.
She doesn't want to.
Wait. Here she comes. Watch it. She's almost in the loop.
We're watching.
That's it. Yank! Pull her, boys. Come on, Van.
Pull harder, Roger. Pull. She's doing some pulling herself. Keep it tight. Like the June from ancient history. Hold that tiger. Roger, don't make jokes. Keep the rope taut.
She's getting one paw loose.
Watch out, Cadet. Watch out!
Oh! She got me. Rip my arm. Keep the rope taut, Roger, whatever you do. I got it. But my arm feels like it's on fire. I can see. Cleo sliced right through your uniform jacket. You're bleeding. Tell me something I don't know.
Hold tight, boys, while I get this strap through it.
Watch out for that free paw.
I will. Here, take it, Vance.
I got it.
2 more seconds, boys.
All right.
There. That's it. You can release the rope. She's secure now.
And unhappy. Look at those eyes glazed at us. I never saw anything worse, even on the dark side of Mercury.
I think it's going to work, Vance.
Yeah, if my arms hold out. Let me look at that scratch, Rog. Yeah, I don't
Cleo's claws didn't do much more than scratch the skin, fortunately. But we better get you over to the spaceport infirmary right away.
I'm all right. I can take it, Junior.
Let's not run the risk of infection. We'll get the arm fixed, and then, well, there's only 19 more cats to go.
Only? By Jupiter, Tom, I want to get in outer space, where the only thing we'll have to worry about is bumping into a nice, gentle asteroid. Everything okay on the good ship Leo, Rog? Yeah, Junior. We blasted clear without any trouble, which is a surprise to me, I must admit.
How's the arm?
Okay, just stings a little once in a while.
Well, good. Then we're on our way and in pretty good shape.
Yeah, considering the mission we're on, yeah.
Personally, Roger, I think it could be fun.
Sure, 1,000,000 laughs. Corbett and Manning, the cosmic clowns. I'll bet we wind up doing an act with this outfit. We'll be the rage of Venus.
You've got enough ham in you to do it.
I'm ignoring you. And speaking of Venus reminds me, I better go down and check the animals again.
Especially the one called Princess Marcia.
Could be, Junior, could be.
How often do you want her to trim your jets, Roger?
That, Thomas, was on Earth. Manning never functions properly as an Earthling. Space is my element. But you'll have to excuse me now. I must instruct the princess in the mysteries of space travel.
Go ahead, Roger. But one thing.
Yeah?
When she takes your head off and hands it to you, bring it back here. I've always wanted a solid ivory bowling.
And this, Margie, is the control deck.
Oh, fascinating, Roger.
Hey, who? Oh, Roger. The princess wanted to see the control deck.
Oh, sure.
Roger's been showing me over the ship.
And note the head, Tom, still on the shoulders.
Huh?
Just a private joke, Miss O'Neill.
No. I prefer Marcia or Maggie.
Right, Marcia. Oh, by the way, has Roger told you yet that taking you to Venus
Quiet,
is like...
Junior. Marcia, they call Venus the beauty of the planets. Well, taking you to Venus is like carrying...
uranium to Pluto.
Roger, I think I detect that odor of wolf again.
Oh, Margie, you got me all wrong. I'm just...
You're going to wish you were, Roger.
Huh?
Both of you turn very quietly. Look at the hatchway. We've got company.
What are you...
Cats! How'd they get loose?
A tiger and 2 lions. Tom!
Don't move. I'll handle this.
Thanks, Margie, but I've got more faith in the parallel array. Tom, use yours.
I haven't got one. Remember, this is a commercial flight.
Well, there must be one on board.
Sure, in the weapons locker right outside.
Maybe I can slip past you. Oh, I guess I can't. Tom, those cats, they're getting ready to spring.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett in just a moment, so stand by.
Special report from Space Academy Supply Headquarters, Earth, to all space stations. Subject, official space goggles. Supply Headquarters reports all groups working full strength, day and night shifts, issuing official space goggles to all spacemen. Delivery to space stations on outer planets will follow shortly. Interview with Commander Arkwright specifically requests your fullest cooperation.
Spaceman, this is Commander Arkwright. As you heard in that report, we're going full speed ahead to make sure we have your space goggles ready for you. Now, here's what to expect. Space goggles are not like any other goggles you've ever seen. They're a one-piece plastic bubble that fits over both eyes at the same time. A sweeping plastic plate that protects your eyes from wind, dust, and dirt. It's a valuable piece of equipment for every spaceman to have. That's why I want you all to send for your space goggles as soon as possible. Now I'm going to play a special telerecorder message with complete instructions on how to get your official space goggles. Listen carefully and write down the necessary details.
To get official space goggles, send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Repeat, 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Send to this address, Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Repeat, Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan.
There are your orders, spaceman. Send for your space goggles right away.
Earth's largest circus, the Wilberforce Mighty Show, is making the first interplanetary trip ever attempted by a big top organization. And Space Cadets Tom, Corbett, and Roger Manning have been placed in charge of the expedition. Part of their cargo is a wild animal act. Now, 3 of the big cats have somehow escaped from their cages and confront the cadets and Princess Marja on the space freighter's control deck. They stand there, weaponless, the path to the arms locker blocked by a tiger and 2 large lions.
Tom, the cats will be on us in a moment.
Easy. I can control them. Quiet, babies. Quiet. Give me that stool.
Okay, here. We've got to get to the arms locker. Marcia can't lead those cats around like tabbies, so you go, Tom. And kiss Cleopatra for me on the way. Nice, pussy, nice.
All right, baby. Easy.
Roger. Those magnetic sole shoes. Get them.
What?
Make like Cinderella. Put them on Marja's feet.
Well, what are you going to do?
Deactivate the gravity stabilizer. Throw the ship into free fall.
What'll happen? All right, Cleopatra. Rex, do not get excited.
We'll be wearing magnetized shoes, so we'll stay on the metal floor. But without gravity, the animals will float in the air. Then I can get through, grab a parallel ray gun, and retake them.
Lift your foot, Princess. I'll put the shoe on.
Now, careful, Roger. Don't let them think you're hurting me.
I wouldn't want them to think that for the universe. Now the other foot.
Easy, babies. Easy. Down, Georgina.
Okay, Roger. Yeah, throw the ship in a free fall.
Easy, baby. Easy. What a sight. They are floating.
Come on, Roger. Let's get those parallel rays.
It is all right, babies. It will be over soon.
Give me one of those. Here. I'll freeze Cleo.
My pets. Statues. Drifting statues.
And she's sorry for them yet.
Oh, get them down, please. Which motor did you turn on?
Don't touch anything, Marja. Turn that gravity stabilizer on and they'll crash down and break some bones.
Give me a hand. We'll pull them down on deck.
Okay.
Wait till I tell my grandchildren how Roger Manning twisted a tiger by the tail.
Don't you hurt her, Roger.
Oh, she can't feel anything, Marja.
But she can see and hear you. The ray doesn't affect that.
Hey, that's right. I better make friends. Nice pussy. Nice pussy. See, I rubbed her ears.
Stand by. I'm going to turn the stabilizer on. Now, let's get these animals back in their cages.
Check, Tom. I like tiger rugs, but not with the tiger in them. All back in their cages now, Tom, so we can release them from the parallel ray and have a nice, peaceful trip the rest of the way.
I wouldn't count on that, Roger.
Why not?
Look at the lock on this cage.
Broken.
And not by the blast-off thrust. It's been deliberately smashed. My guess is that somebody on this ship doesn't want us or the circus to reach Venus.
But who?
That, Roger, is what's going to keep us busy for the rest of this trip. Because there's one thing we can be sure of. Whoever did this is going to try again.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when Tom and Roger discover the traitor in their midst and pursue him through space. A race against death in Part 2 of The Greatest Show in the Universe. Tune in, same time, same station for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Jan Merlin, John Griggs, Leon Janney, and Connie Lemke. Today's program was written by Palmer Thompson, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran, raisins and bran flakes too. They're out of this world, they're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender, the bran flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran, raisins and bran flakes too. They're out of this world, they're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are a passenger aboard a submarine, making its last peaceful voyage across the sea. While unknown to you, the captain has a plan, which, if it succeeds, will mean for you and the entire crew a fate from which there can be no escape.
So listen now as Escape brings you Mary Ann Mosner and Francis Rosenwald's exciting story, The Log.
When I was a cub reporter, my boss told me, be there. Don't let your own emotions color your story. Stick to the facts. So, these are the facts. This is the way it happened. I met Captain Jan Zabatos in a Scandinavian port. During the last war, he'd been in command of a submarine, the only sub of a nation that fought the dictators side by side with the Allies. When he was finally forced into this neutral port, the captain preferred internment to surrender. After that, his nation went out of the business of being a nation. He was left behind with his ship, unwanted by the Allies, and a burden to the government that had become his permanent host. To pay for the vessel's berth and maintenance, the authorities turned her into a tourist's exhibit, permitting her skipper to stay aboard as caretaker and tourist guide. We met during one of those guided tours.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the tour of the SS Seagull, a great ship with a peerless war record. It was my honor and privilege to guide her across hostile waters as master of this man-of-war that gave battle to the last torpedo. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. You are very welcome all, and this way if you please.
You got a few minutes, Captain? I'm Bill Rawlins, New York Globe. I enjoyed your tour a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Rawlins. Always glad to talk to gentlemen of the press. I presume you would like to write a story on the Seagull?
Well, to be honest about it, sir, I'd rather write about her skipper.
I am honored, but without the Seagull, you won't have much of a story. She and I are comrades in arms.
The war has been over a long time, Captain.
Yes, of course.
Haven't you ever thought of going home?
Mr. Rollins, this is my home, and always will be.
As we walked across the deck, the Seagull came to life the way her skipper talked about her exploits at sea. And I saw 1,500 tons of steel that had never faltered, never failed. I was busy taking notes when the man came up the gangplank, stocky, brisk, dressed in a natty gray suit, a briefcase under his arm.
How do, gentlemen? Where do I find the man in charge?
I'm in command of the Seagull, Captain Jan Shabados. What can I do for you?
The name's Andrews. Here's my card. I represent the Liverpool office of the Marine Salvage and Surplus Corporation. You mind if I look around?
The next tour of the Seagull commences at 16 o'clock.
That's fine. You go right ahead. I know my way around ships. Bought and sold them all my life. This is my first time.
I'm afraid you must be mistaken, sir. The Seagull is not for sale.
Not anymore. My company just bought her. I closed the deal yesterday.
Look, this can't be. Nobody has authority to sell my ship.
The government has, according to international law. This isn't your ship anymore, Captain. Now, do you realize what it costs this country to keep her docked here?
I suppose I knew that this was going to happen. Excuse me, sir, what does your company plan to do with the Seagull?
Scrap her. What else is she good for?
Yes, of course. What else is... You plan to break her up here?
No, we'll have to tow her across to Liverpool.
Mr. Andrews, the Seagull is perfectly capable to sail under her own power.
All the way across the North Sea? No. It must be pretty rusty by now.
My ship is in as good condition as she was 10 years ago when we put in this port.
I know how you feel, Skipper, but if you don't mind, I'd rather play it safe.
No, I don't think I made myself clear, sir. This ship has had the finest maintenance that you find aboard any vessel. I have seen to that myself. Would you care to go below and look about, sir?
Sure, why not?
Then if you will follow me. Rust and corrosion, I understand.
She was a beauty, all right. Her diesels reposing in gleaming silence. Her eye, a Zeiss periscope, set to scan the horizon. Her tubes ready for torpedoes. I felt a strange affinity toward this ship that to Andrews meant just so many tons of metal to be turned into X amount of dollars, while to her captain she was a whole world of tradition. A world now coming to an end.
Until I suppose you think that the Seagull should be dismantled and scrapped?
Well, I'm afraid that's what we bought her for.
Then may I respectfully make a last request on her behalf?
I'll be happy to oblige if it's anything reasonable.
Don't tow her away like a crippled ship. Let me guide her on this last journey. All we need is 1 week, a skeleton crew. My services are free.
I don't know. All right. I'll tell you what, Skipper. I'll check with my company and get in touch with you.
Well, that sounds like a good idea to me, Andrews. You'd be saving your company quite a bit of money.
My firm's allergic to taking chances.
You don't take chances with the Seagull.
The cold logic of the dollar in the bank, not the captain's last request, persuaded the scrap middleman to take a well-calculated risk on the Seagull and her master. Mr. Andrews was to accompany the ship on her final journey. I requested and was granted permission to go along and cover the voyage for my paper. It was a gray, overcast morning when we boarded the Seagull. She was straining gently at her anchors with the last of the ebb tide.
I hope the skipper hired a decent cook. Nothing like sea air to give a man an appetite.
I'm not looking forward to a picnic, Mr. Andrews. All I want is a story.
You won't find it in this barge, Rawlins. But I can give you plenty of stories. My company isn't averse to publicity.
When we reached the bridge, we found a changed man. Captain Jan Zabados, commander of the submarine Seagull, wearing a freshly creased uniform, windbreaker, and his well-worn battle cap.
Anchor secure, sir.
All engines back aft.
All engines back aft, sir.
Course 005.
005, sir.
Port engine back 2/3. Starboard engine ahead, standard.
Port engine back 2/3. Starboard engine ahead, standard, sir.
Stand by, all hands.
Standing by, sir.
Now. Well, gentlemen, we are off.
A little chilly this morning, Skipper.
Perfect weather.
Makes you hungry anyway. What time do we...
Breakfast will be served in my quarters in 10 minutes, Mr. Andrews.
Come on down, Rollins. Let's get some chow.
We had breakfast. It was better than Andrews had expected. And he was in an expansive mood when we returned to the bridge. He'd fortified himself with a thick cigar which stuck out of his mouth like a stubby finger pointed at the captain.
How's it going, Skipper?
Passing the 3-mile zone, sir.
Weather seems to be clearing up. Maybe we can do a little deep-sea fishing, huh, Rollins?
I've never fished from a submarine, Mr. Andrews.
Sorry, gentlemen. No fishing. This is not a pleasure cruise.
That's the step, Skipper. Business before pleasure.
And I agree, sir. You will leave the bridge now.
Why? What's wrong?
Nothing, sir. We are getting ready to submerge.
What are you talking about? Submerge? On whose orders?
My orders, Mr. Andrews.
Nothing doing. That's against regulations, and you know it. This trip is to be made on the surface unless it's an emergency.
Clear diving rudders.
Diving rudders clear, sir.
Did you hear what I said?
Ready the tanks.
Tanks standing by, sir.
That's enough, Sabatos. You know what the orders are. I'm not going to allow you...
I must inform you, sir, that I am in sole command of the Seagull. I shall surrender her to no one but her rightful owner, my country.
Your country? You've got no country. It's a satellite.
Then I shall sail the seas until I have one again.
You know what you're saying? That's piracy.
Then, Mr. Andrews, I shall be a pirate, shan't I? Clear the deck. Diving stations.
Diving stations.
Get out of your mind.
Passengers below, please. Now, that's an order, Mr. Andrews.
Standing by, sir.
Well, I'd found my story. When we slipped beneath the surface of the North Sea, the captain let the men have rum and brandy to celebrate the Seagull's return to what he called active duty.
He's crazy. He's gone stark raving crazy. The crew that madman picked himself. Well, we'll see about this. Hey, Bosun! Bosun! Come over here. Know how to handle this ship?
I know my job, sir.
How'd you like a bonus? Say $1,000.
I'd like it fine, sir.
All right. Take over. Never mind the captain. I'll back you up.
I'm sorry, sir. He's my captain.
I'm in charge of this ship. He's under my orders.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I'm under his orders.
That's how it went with the rest of the crew. They were all men without a country, handpicked by the captain, fanatically devoted to their master and the ship that was their world. In the meantime, I noticed some activity on the part of the captain and his radio operator. A constant flow of communications between the ship's wireless and her master's tiny cabin. Andrews and I went there.
Come in.
The captain was sitting on the bunk, poring over a chart-filled table.
Mind if you and I have a little talk?
I'm quite busy. 5 minutes, Mr. Andrews.
Thank you. Don't you think this farce has gone far enough? You'll be running out of supplies, you know, and then what?
The sea is abundant with stores of all kinds, Mr. Andrews.
How do you mean?
I shall requisition what I need.
You can't be serious.
Can't I? I have guns, fore and aft, shells to go with them. Give me time, I shall obtain torpedoes as well.
You'll never get away with this.
That remains to be seen. My wireless has picked up the Blenheim Castle, an English freighter. We will sight her by nightfall.
You're going to stop her?
Exactly, Mr. Andrews. There are a few supplies that we need. I am sure her captain will oblige before continuing on his way.
We will return to Escape in just a moment. But first, maybe it rained where you are today. The United States is pretty big, and it's hard for somebody on a coast-to-coast network to keep track of the weather everywhere. But even if they did, remember, it's been a very dry summer. The danger of forest fires is on every hand. Please be careful with those campfires, those cigarettes, those lighted matches. And now, back to Escape.
Approximately 8 hours later, the bosun's pipe shrilled as the Seagull rose stealthily to the ocean surface. Dead ahead in a choppy sea loomed the massive hull of the freighter Blenheim Castle, her foaming nose eerily phosphorescent, the position lights glimmering across the sea. Our searchlight reached up to her bridge with a long white finger. We clearly made out the tanker's captain standing on his bridge in a splotch of white glare, bellowing through a megaphone.
Hey! Ho, 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 ho! Heave to! Coming alongside! Who are you? Raider! Pass the line! Raider! I won't pass a cow's tail! Where's the war? It is starting now! That's a bloody lie! Heave away! Ready above, or you will be sunk! Why, you kettle-bottom, knock-down hard-fighter! I'll bust your cat once on the right water! Follow my orders, or I open fire! Why don't you man up and cook off? I give you 3 minutes. I'll give you a kick in the belly!
It was incredible. Here we were at peace, and Captain Zabatos had started his own private war. He had the guns, and the tanker's captain had only his ship. Before the Seagull's gun crew could get a bearing, the tanker lurched forward, picking up speed. Wheeled hard over, bent on ramming us. Our guns started to fire, blasting away at the tanker. But it kept coming on. Closer, closer. The sharp bow cutting through the choppy sea.
Dive! 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 Dive!
We weren't fast enough. There was a grinding lurch, and we knew the Seagull had been damaged in the collision with the freighter, but we couldn't tell how badly. The first realization of disaster came when we saw the captain, his hair damp with perspiration, eyes gleaming feverishly, and a face turned ashen gray.
Nobody leaves this station without my orders. You gentlemen stay out of the way. I'm not going to take orders from you or anybody else. I represent the owners of this ship. You do? You heard me, Zabatos. Then tell your owner she has been rammed. I'll hold you responsible. As her commander, I accept sole responsibility for ship and crew, including you and Mr. Owens. That's very noble, mister, but I'm a businessman. What's the extent of the damage?
Conning tower smashed and the scope tube cracked.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, surface, send an SOS.
I never have sent an SOS, and I never will.
That's your business. I'm an American citizen, and so is Mr. Rowland. You can't hold us against our...
You let me put ashore when conditions are favorable.
Let me set you straight about us. If you want to go down in misery, I'm not stopping you. But you can't force me to stick around until this tin can's full of holes. I want to get out of here. I order you for the last time, surface, to signal for help.
Andrews, if you wish to leave now, you may take a escape hatch.
You're crazy.
Not at all. The damage is trifling. But since you feel so frightened of your life, I suggest that you leave.
So help me, when we get out of this, I'm going to have you busted, jailed, hung if I can.
Get out of my way if you please. I have no time to discuss the matter with you.
Come on, Andrews.
Whose side are you on, anyway, Rollins?
Nobody's. I just want to live. The hours passed slowly at the ocean bottom. The stillness echoing the attempts of the men working to repair the damage. The air was getting foul, breathing becoming more difficult.
Storage battery's going, sir.
Then dim the lights, bosun.
Oxygen's running low.
Ration it.
I've got 2 men in sick bay already.
All right. All right. Carry on.
Sir.
What is it, bosun?
The men need air. It's very bad aft.
All right. Very well, bosun. We go up. All engines ready.
All engines ready, sir.
Clear pressure tanks.
Clearing tank, sir.
Diving rudder. Standard.
Vessels approaching overhead, sir.
These rudder hold tanks.
Surface vessel calling on out channel, sir.
Don't answer.
British subchaser closing in, sir. Request ship-to-ship communication.
All right. I talked to them. Stand by.
SS Seagull coming in. Go ahead. NS-127.
Are you in trouble, Seagull? No trouble, sir. Surface at once. State your conditions. None. Then I regretfully refuse her. Following orders, Seagull. Come up, or we drop depth charges. Do so, then. You can't get away. We've got a sonar fix on you. No surrender. We are ready with depth charges, Seagull.
Wait!
Get back,
Andrew!
American sound here. We hot communications.
The first depth charge was a warning, followed by another coming closer. Another still closer. The pressure was enormous. The ship rocked from bow to stern and started to take water.
All engines ahead, full.
All engines ahead, full, sir.
Course 02, standard.
Course 02, standard, sir.
Oh, quiet, Captain. This is wrong. It can't help now.
Stand out of my way, Mr. Rawlins.
You're a naval officer, not a murderer. Your ship is finished. You have no right to kill your crew. And that's what it's going to mean if you don't stop.
This is my ship. My life. No, you don't understand.
It's still murder.
Standing by for your order, sir.
Well, what are you going to do?
Oh. Surface.
Surface!
Surface! Stand by, surface!
No response, sir. Tanks won't operate.
All engines stop!
All engines stop!
Now what?
I seem to have no choice. Do I? Stand by to abandon ship.
Abandon ship!
That was almost the end of it. The sub couldn't get up to the surface. She could only go down. And the way she was taking water, it wasn't going to be long. The men lined up outside the escape chamber. And one by one, they shook hands with the captain as they moved by. You could see in his eyes what they meant to him. And in their low voices, their feelings for him.
Goodbye, Captain. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, Captain. Goodbye, Mr. Captain.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Then it was Andrew's turn to go.
The bosun is in the lock. He will give you your instructions as to how to get to the surface.
I lived through this, Apollos. I'm going to see
I know. I am sorry for the discomfort you have been caused. Goodbye, Mr. Andrews.
Coming, Rollins?
Sure. You go ahead. One at a time, you know.
Well, good luck.
And to you.
Now, Mr. Rawlins, huh? I imagine you will have quite a story to write for your newspaper.
Well, let's forget that. It's not important. What about you? Andrews isn't kidding, you know. Once you get up there...
I wonder if... Would you do me one last service?
Of course. He got his log out and started to write. I looked over his shoulder as he made his last entry. All men off ship. Strong list to port. Storage batteries 0. Oxygen 20. Ship secure. Signed Captain Jan Zabatos, Commander SS Seagull.
You oblige me by taking this log up with you. It can be fastened to your belt.
Well, why don't you carry it?
There are one or two other things I must take with me.
Now, look.
No, Mr. Owens, go on. I will follow you.
Yes, but...
Please go on.
Okay. Hurry up, though, will you? She won't last long. I got up to the surface. A boat from the sub-chaser picked me up 5 minutes later. Every man of the crew and Andrews was safe. After that, we cruised about for hours, waiting, hoping that Zabatos would appear. But he didn't. I should have known he'd stay with the Seagull. The skipper of the chaser understood what had happened a lot better after he'd read the log. I guess seamen have a feeling about such things. Well, that's the story. That's all there is to it.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you The Log, a story by Marianne Mosder and Francis Rosenwald, starring Lawrence Dobkin and Byron Kane. Featured in the cast were Alan Reed, Kurt Martell, Frank Gerstle, Eric Snowden, Richard Peel, and Jim Nesser. The special music for Escape was composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are walking the streets of an Indian city. Terrifying, sweltering streets. While the man you fear has already made his mark on you. A mark from which there can be no escape.
So listen next week when Escape will bring you James Henderson's frightening story, The Untouchable. I Confess is the graphic title of tomorrow night's Lux Radio Theater film play adaptation. Cary Grant and Phyllis Thaxter co-star. You'll remember I Confess as one of Alfred Hitchcock's most suspenseful thrillers, and you'll enjoy every minute of it on most of these same stations tomorrow night when CBS Radio presents the Lux Radio Theater. This is Roy Rowan speaking. Remember, you can hear Jack Benny every Sunday night on the CBS Radio Network.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy have discovered a strange castle in a valley on the planet Mars. Curiously, they make their way down a long corridor.
This place has the weirdest lighting, sir.
Yes. It seems to come from the walls and ceiling as if the surface were glowing.
I wonder where this corridor leads. It seems to go on forever.
Trick of perspective, Happy.
Hey, what happened? I can't walk.
Hap, look at the floor. It's getting transparent.
Smoke and rockets. It's disappearing. They're right from under us. Hey, Commander, we're falling!
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Revenge of Dr. Yeager. Breakfast time, Space Patrollers, the happiest time of the morning for all of you when you fill up your breakfast bowl like this with Rice Chex. Yes, Rice Chex, the triple treat cereal, tops three ways. Tops for taste, tops for size, tops for get up and go. Toasted 3 times until it's cookie, crisp, and crunchy. Every spoonful tastes like more. You bet Rice Chex is tops for taste, tops for size, has that modern bite-sized design. Size just right for a perfect bite. And it's hollow inside. It fills up with milk or cream, glides from your bowl right onto your spoon. That's easy, breezy eating. And gang, Rice Chex is tops for get up and go. And wow, after a good nourishing breakfast with Rice Chex, you're ready to swing into action in school or play. So, Space Patrollers, swing into action right away. Fill up your bowl every morning like Commander Corey and Cadet Happy with Rice Chex. Or for a neat whole wheat treat, try Wheat Chex. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Tops for taste, tops for size, tops for get up and go. So get them today in the red and white checkerboard packages with a big full-color picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and the terrific Space Patrol trading card on the inside. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Revenge of Dr. Yeager. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are in the Commander's space battle cruiser, the Terra 5, returning to the man-made planet Terra after a mission to Jupiter. Several thousand DUs inside the Mars orbit, Happy picks up a spaceship in the forward view scope.
It's a small private cruiser, Commander. There's no sign of a rocket blast. It must be in free fall.
What's Inspector have?
I haven't reckoned it yet, sir, but at the rate we're gaining on it, its velocity is very low, and it doesn't seem to be on any planetary vector.
Better call him.
Yes, sir. It looks like a drifter to me, all right, sir.
Emergency. Private cruiser M89 calling Space Patrol Battle Cruiser Terra 5.
Hey, they're calling us.
It's a faint signal for such a short distance.
I'll boost the gain, sir.
Private cruiser M89 calling Terra 5. I'm in trouble.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5, the cruiser M89. What's your trouble?
I'm not sure. Power failure, I think.
We'll join airlocks with your ship and come aboard. Corey out. Happy, stand by to operate magnetic coupler.
Standing by, sir.
You'll both go aboard. Bring the emergency oxygen bottle just in case.
Thank heavens you're here.
Are you all right, miss?
Oh, yes, I am now.
The cabin air pressure seems okay, sir.
Oh, yes, everything's fine.
Just a minute. Didn't you space a phone an emergency? You said something about power failure.
I'm sorry, but I didn't know what else to do. You see, I was frightened.
Are you alone in this ship?
Well, yes, Commander. You see,
Happy, check that control panel.
Yes, sir.
What's your name, miss?
Lorna Stark.
Is this your ship?
Yes, I'm from Lowell City, Mars. You can check that.
I certainly will.
The instruments check, sir. The rocket controls are off, that's all.
Yes, that's right. I've been in a free fall for about a half an hour.
Why?
I was afraid someone was after me. I thought if they didn't see the rocket exhaust, I'd have a better chance. Oh, I was just praying for a Space Patrol ship to come along. You have no idea how relieved I am.
You'd better have a good reason for faking a distress call. Who's after you and why?
Well, I'm afraid it's going to sound very strange. That's why I wanted you to come aboard so we could talk privately. I was afraid to explain over the spaceophone.
I'm listening, Miss Stark.
Well, perhaps I'd better start at the beginning. Did you ever hear of a Dr. Yeager?
Yeager?
Wilhelm Yeager, the scientist and inventor.
Dr. Yeager's been dead for nearly 30 years.
Yes, I know. He and my father were friends. You've probably heard that several of Dr. Yeager's inventions were never made public, that they're hidden in a secret castle.
Dr. Yeager was quite a colorful personality from what I've read. A lot of fantastic legends have sprung up about him, but how does all this tie in with your fake emergency call?
Commander, that castle of Dr. Yeager's is not legend.
Yeager? Yeager. Sure. The fellow the old-time pilots talk about. The man who's supposed to have made all those frightful inventions. Weapons so terrible he never even wrote down his secrets.
He did write them down, Cadet. I've seen some of the designs.
Huh? Designs for what, Miss Stark?
I don't recall them all now, but there was the lethal ray.
Now, just a minute. You mean the lethal ray actually existed?
It exists now.
Where? Who has it?
Well, nobody. It's still where Dr. Yeager hid it.
You don't know where it is?
No, but somebody thinks I do. That's why they're after me.
Well, who has reason to suspect that you know about Yeager's secrets?
A man named Carl Bracker. He once worked for my father. He was present when I opened the sealed package containing documents that Dr. Yeager gave my father. You see, Dr. Yeager left it up to my father's judgment whether certain inventions were to be revealed. One day, about 3 years ago, I came across that sealed package. Curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it.
Go on.
A moment later, my father and this Carl Bracker walked in. My father was furious with me. Right then and there, he destroyed the documents. He said Dr. Yeager was right, that people couldn't be trusted. I was ashamed and frightened. Neither Father nor I mentioned the matter again. Then after Father passed away, Bracker showed up.
And wanted you to tell him where Yeager's secrets are hidden?
Yes, but I told him I didn't know. He was angry. He said I'd be sorry, but he went away. Then a few days ago, this other man started following me. I just know Bracker sent him.
When you saw those documents, did you notice where Yeager's inventions were hidden?
Yes, but I've forgotten. I pushed it out of my mind. I didn't want to know.
Miss Stark, I want to give you a brainograph test.
You don't believe me?
Oh, that's not the point. If that information about Yeager is in your subconscious, someday you might recall it or be forced to reveal it. I want to find those inventions if they exist, to keep them from falling into the wrong hands.
And the brainograph will make me remember?
It'll put your thought images on a screen. Even those dim patterns and impressions your conscious mind isn't aware of. It's completely painless. Are you willing?
Of course.
Well, it'll be late when we get to Terra. I'll arrange for a room for you at the Terra Space Hotel with a guard at the door.
Guard?
You said someone was after you, remember? Let's get into my ship. You can tell me more about this Carl Bracker.
Early the next morning, Buzz and Happy arranged with Major Robertson, Space Patrol Security Chief, to set up a brainograph test. Then they hurried to the Terra Space Hotel to get Lorna Stark. They step out of the elevator and walk down the hall.
Room 2309, wasn't it, sir?
Yes. Say, where's the guard? He was to stay on duty in the hall until relieved.
The door's unlocked, sir.
Something's wrong here. Miss Stark!
Hey, Commander, look. It's the guard. He's on the floor, tied up and gagged.
Just a minute, Sergeant. Happy, untie him. I'll loosen the gag. There. Where's Miss Stark?
They took her away. I tried to stop them, but they slugged me.
They?
Yes, 2 men, a big one and a little fellow in a waiter's outfit. That's how he got close to me out in the hall. The little guy with the tray, he pulled a ray gun on me and forced me into the room. The big guy came in. Guess he'd been waiting around the turn in the hall.
Here's a waiter's coat and tray on the floor, sir.
How long ago did this happen?
About 2 hours ago. They really tied me up. I've been trying to
What about Miss Stark? Did she know the men? Did she go willingly?
Well, she put up a squawk till the big guy got rough. She seemed to know him, called him by name. Let's see, Bracker. That's it, Bracker.
Hat, get on the phone to headquarters. Have them check the files on Carl Bracker. I want all the data on my desk when we get there.
This is all we have on Bracker, sir.
Is there a photo?
Yes, sir.
Sergeant, is this one of the men?
That's him, all right, sir.
What's his record, Hat?
Well, picked up 2 years ago in a space safety code violation, Section 23D, installing instruments in a spaceship without a license. Fined 50 credits.
Any address?
Let's see. Just the place he works, Cosmocraft Instrument Company, 18 Newton Place, Terra.
Cosmocraft.
Spelled with 2 Ks, real cute. Merton Yost, Chief Engineer and Consultant.
I've heard of that outfit. They rebuild instruments and deal in second-hand electronics equipment for spaceships. Personally, I wouldn't trust them to repair a sundial.
I wonder if Bracker still works there.
Now, come on. We'll drop around and see if he's renewed his license.
From the outside, Cosmocraft Instrument Company appears to be like the other small, independent manufacturing concerns that thrive in the clean, handsome buildings on Newton Street. But a visitor would find the interior rather uninviting. The office is littered with papers and out-of-date technical books. A small, nervous man sits at a desk, glancing first at the street door, then toward the back room that serves as a workshop. In the shop, Lorna Stark sits huddled on a packing case, while a large man towers threateningly over her.
I'm tired of playing games, Lorna. Now let's have it. Where's Yeager's castle?
I don't know. I tell you, I don't know.
Don't give me that! Saw those papers. The lethal ray and all those other secret weapons are at the castle, aren't they?
I've forgotten, I tell you. Believe me, Bracker, I've forgotten.
Hey, cut out that noise. I can hear you clear out in the office.
She's playing coy, Yost. But I'll get it out of her.
We shouldn't have brought her here.
All right, get back out there and shut the door. Suppose somebody comes in.
All right, Bracker, but please keep quiet.
All right, Lorna. Now, you'd better talk. Where's Yeager's castle?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is it, Hap. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, gentlemen?
I'm Commander Corey.
Yes, Commander Corey. What can I do for you?
Does Carl Bracker still work here?
Bracker? Hey, Bracker, let's see.
I shouldn't take in a place of this size. You'd have much trouble remembering who's in the payroll.
Mr. Bracker left us just last week. I don't know where he is.
Is there anyone else I can talk to?
No, I'm all alone here this morning. My assistant's out on the job at the spaceport. Sorry, I can't help you.
All alone, huh? Come on, Hap.
You can't go back there?
Oh, we can, huh?
You heard what I said?
Oh, you want to play rough?
Good work, Hap.
Stop it, you're hurting me.
All right, Bracker. Let go of her and get your hands up.
Oh, Commander Corey.
Get him way up, Bracker. Search him, Hap.
Yes, sir. He had this under his jacket, sir. A blast gun.
Commander, I remember now. Yeager's castle is in Mars. It's in the Hartog Hills.
We'll discuss it later, Miss Stark. All right, Bracker, just take it easy and come over here.
Stay right where you are, gentlemen, and don't move. I said don't move. I can shoot the girl before either of you turn around.
Yost, I've been wondering what happened to you.
Drop your weapons.
It's his play, Hap.
Sorry, sir. I thought I clobbered him good.
That's being very smart, gentlemen.
Thanks, Yost. I'll just pick up my gun and add a few finishing touches.
Oh, no, you don't.
Here, Lorna. That takes care of your space patrol friend. Yost, get the surface car ready while I bind and gag the girl. We're getting out of here.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
This is Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles with the story of one of the fastest planes in the world and a word from the man who test flies it, Joe Lynch. It's North American's Air Force F-86D Sabre Jet Interceptor. Speed well over 700 miles per hour. Wingspan is 37 feet. Length 41. Cruising range 500 miles. Now, by special tape recording made at International Airport, a well-known test pilot of the Sabre, Joe Lynch.
The D is a one-man interceptor, so when you fly it, you're really on your own. That's why I see to it that I'm in good condition all the time. And one way to stay in good condition is by eating a good breakfast cereal, like rice Chex or wheat Chex. They're just packed full of energy, and they taste swell. I think you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puffed or flaked, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from Joe Lynch, George Welch, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals rice Chex and wheat Chex. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Revenge of Dr. Yeager. Buzz and Happy burst in upon Carl Bracker as he attempted to force Lorna Stark to reveal the hiding place of sinister weapons invented by the late Dr. Yeager. In the excitement of the rescue, Lorna blurted the location of Yeager's hidden castle, just as Bracker's partner, Merton Yost, intervened. Fearing resistance would endanger Lorna, Buzz and Happy surrendered their weapons. Bracker knocked the space patrollers unconscious. Then he and Yost escaped, taking the girl with them. Now, an hour later, Buzz and Happy find themselves locked in the repair shop of the dingy spaceship instrument factory on Terra.
Wow. Wait till I get a hold of that guy, Bracker. He raised a lump on my head the size of Mars' first moon.
Mars? Huh? That's where Yeager's castle is. Did you hear Lorna just as we came in?
I was sort of busy. If I did hear it, Bracker's gun knocked it out of my mind. Whereabouts on Mars, did she say?
Yes. It was right then that Yost came in, but I think I recall it. The Hartog Hills.
Hartog Hills? That's a new one on me, and I thought I knew Martian geography.
It's a range a few hundred miles northwest of Marquette City. And come to think of it, it's a good place to hide a castle.
We're locked in.
That isn't going to last more than a few seconds. We'll notify headquarters that we're blasting off from Mars.
Well, gee, Commander, do you think Bracker will go there? Doesn't he know that you heard Lorna tell where the castle was?
He's gone pretty far already, Hap. He may figure that it's worth taking a chance on getting his hands on Yeager's weapons. those rumors are even half true. One man could wipe out an army with the lethal ray alone.
Wow. Let's hope we find the castle before Bracker does.
The door, Hap.
Oh, yes, sir. Allow me.
Here, Hap, I'll help you out. Now to the spaceport. Hurry.
Yes, sir.
Merton Yost sits hunched over the controls of a private cruiser, watching the red-tinged disk of the planet Mars grow larger in the viewscope. He turns as Carl Bracker shoulders his way through the narrow opening into the control compartment.
Can't you get any more acceleration out of this old bucket?
Take it easy, Bracker. We'll be over the Hartog Hills right after sunup, the way I figured.
You better contact Jacobs at Markov City. We'll meet him out in the desert. He can fly us to the Hartog Hills to look for the castle.
Smart idea. When we locate Yeager's hideout, there won't be a grounded ship there to give us away.
Sometime later, another ship enters the thin, cold atmosphere of Mars. As Buzz handles the controls, Cadet Happy compares the terrain in the viewscope screen with the detailed 3D projector chart of this sector of the surface of Mars.
Hartog Hills appearing in the screen now, sir.
And so far, no sign of any ship that might be Bracker.
I'll bet he didn't have the nerve.
Well, let's not underestimate him, Hap.
No, sir. You sure were right when you said the Hartog Hills were a good place to hide a castle. Those rock formations are sure confusing.
I'll cut our altitude, Hap, and place back and forth across the range. Now the viewscope scanning beam to a small arc.
Yes, sir.
Crisscrossing the range of hills, Buzz and Happy examine the terrain from every angle, peering down into steep-walled canyons, bouncing scanning beams off weirdly formed rocks, and probing into vegetation. Then, for a fraction of a second, a formation appears in the viewscope that causes Buzz and Happy to exchange glances.
Well, was it or wasn't it, sir?
I'm going to circle back and make another pass over that canyon at a slightly different angle of approach. What we saw might have been a natural formation.
I've been staring at different shapes of rocks for so long, I don't think I'd recognize a castle if it had a sign on it.
We'll know in a minute, Hap. That's it, Happy.
Yes, sir. I can make out columns and even steps. But wow, what a job of camouflage.
Yeager built the entire facade of an enormous building right against the wall of a canyon. Magnificent.
Yeah, if we'd flown over at another angle, well, we never would have seen it.
Well, there's no sign of another spaceship near here.
Yeah, but there's plenty of room to land in front of the castle.
Well, we'll land and have a close look at Yeager's castle.
A few moments later, Buzz and Happy stand before a beautiful facade of a building constructed against the wall of the cliff. Broad steps lead up to a gigantic door.
Gee, Commander, now that we're right in front of it, I wonder why we didn't notice it from the ship.
Every line of that building was cut to blend with the cliff when seen from a height. It's a beautiful job, Hap.
Yeah, look at the size of that door. We'll probably have to get something from the ship to blast it open.
Let's go up and examine it first.
Uh-oh. Commander, the door, it's swinging open. Somebody's in there.
Have your ray gun ready, Hap?
Yes, sir.
There's no sign of anyone. The door may have opened automatically. I'll go in first, Hap.
Smoke and rockets. Look at the size of this hall. Hey, Commander, the door, it's closing.
We better get out while we can. Hurry.
Hey, now the door's swinging open again.
It is automatic. You don't have to worry. Let's explore the castle.
I'd sure like to find those weapons that Yeager hid.
It may take time, judging by the size of this place.
I wonder where all this light is coming from. There aren't any windows.
The light seems to come from the walls and ceiling. It's if the surface were glowing.
Imagine building a place like this inside a hill where nobody can see it. Yeager was a genius, all right, but I think it was a little nuts.
Well, at least he was sane enough to try to keep dangerous weapons out of the hands of people he thought might misuse them.
Yeah. I wonder where this corridor leads. Seems to go on forever.
Trick of perspective, Happy.
Hey, what happened? I can't walk.
Have to look at the floor. It's getting transparent.
Smoke and rockets. It's disappearing. Right from under us. Commander, we're falling!
Buzz and Happy plunge downward in total darkness. Any moment they expect to land with shattering suddenness on some hard surface. But seconds pass, and they keep plunging down into the blackness.
Commander, I'm slowing down.
Yes, so am I.
Oh, we're at the bottom. Wherever that is.
Stand right where you are, Happy. It isn't safe to move in this pitch blackness.
When that floor opened up from under us, I never expected to move again.
Lucky I brought my atomo light.
That won't be necessary, Commander.
Who's that?
You'll see when I turn on the lights. There.
Bracker.
Now, don't reach for your weapons. It'll be the last move you make. Raise your hands.
Do as he says, Happy.
Joseph, take the ray guns.
All right, Bracker.
Bracker, what have you done with Lorna Stark?
She's perfectly safe in the next room. You're probably wondering just what happened to you. You're now in a lower level of Yeager's castle. You were lowered by one of Yeager's amazing inventions, a levitation beam, controlled by this panel here.
But the floor just dissolved under us.
That part of the floor up there is actually the top cross-section of the levitation beam. By cutting the beam completely off, I could have dropped you to your death.
I suppose you want a medal.
Yes. Open the door. I'm sure the commander would like to talk to Miss Stark. Get moving, you two.
What are you going to do with us, Bracker?
We'll see in a moment.
Commander Corey.
In there, both of you.
Commander, they found out everything. The big room where Dr. Yeager hid all his horrible weapons.
That's right, Corey. Yeager left full instructions. Now, you three stay in here a few moments. Then we shall see how the lethal ray works.
You aren't going to use it on us.
Exactly. There's a small hand model that should serve the purpose quite nicely. I'll be right back.
We've got to try to find a way out of here before they get back with that lethal ray.
We've got to stop them, Commander. With those weapons, they can wipe out whole cities. And it's all my fault.
No, that's not going to help.
But look what was in the room with the weapons. The paper that Dr. Yeager left.
Let us see it. I had hoped that this message would never be read. The fact that you are reading these words is proof that human beings cannot be trusted. Therefore, you deserve to be destroyed. Knowing there was evil and destruction concealed here, you came willingly. Very well, use these forces that I have discovered. Destroy yourselves and improve the universe. Dr. Wilhelm Yeager.
Wow.
A very bitter man.
He was right. Human beings can't be trusted. I proved that.
Everybody makes mistakes. Dr. Yeager made one when he assumed everyone was evil.
And Bracker made a mistake when he thought there was no other way out of this room. Look behind this tapestry.
A door. See if it's locked.
It opens into a long hall.
Come on, quickly, before Bracker comes back. Hurry, Lorna.
Well, if only we can find our way out of the castle.
Well, anyway, there's plenty of light.
Once we get out of here and get to the ship, we can call the Space Patrol Squadron and destroy the castle if we have to.
But if Dr. Yeager's weapons are as powerful as he said they are, couldn't Bracker and yours fight off all the spaceships in the universe?
They might get some of us, but we could keep them holed up here at least.
Smoking rockets as sure as a long corridor. What did I hit?
There's a big mirror across the corner of the passage. The passage turns here.
Sure enough. And the mirror's at an angle so you can see around the corner. It looked like the passage went straight ahead.
Stop we are!
It's Bracker. He's after us.
Around the corner, quickly.
Stop!
Commander, what are we going to do? This is the end of the passage.
Must be a door here.
Yes, there is. Oh, it's locked. We're trapped.
And Bracker's coming for us.
Yeah, I can see him in the mirror coming up the corridor. And he's got a weapon.
Come on, Yost. We got him now. They can't get out.
Use the lethal ray.
I want to get a little closer.
Commander, does he think that lethal ray shoots around corners?
He doesn't know he's aiming at a mirror. He thinks the corridor is straight.
Yeah, but, sir, what if the mirror reflects the ray toward us?
Go on, Bracker. What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for him to plead for mercy. Well, Corey, haven't you anything to say?
Don't talk. Keep perfectly quiet.
All right, then. We'll see how Yeager's lethal ray works.
They're gone. It destroyed them completely.
Yeah. Very satisfactory. But I had the regulator set unnecessarily high. Look what the ray did to the wall.
Blasted a hole in it.
They're coming closer to examine it. We'll jump them when they reach the turn in the passage.
Yes, sir.
Lorna, keep absolutely quiet.
Incredible, isn't it, Yost? You'd never know that a few seconds ago 3 human beings were standing here.
Now, Hap, Bracker, look out!
I'll take that weapon, Bracker.
All right, Bracker, get up.
Corey, I saw you disintegrate.
Yeah, the 3 of them. I saw it, too. You can't always believe what you see. You were looking at a reflection. The lethal ray merely destroyed a mirror on the wall behind it.
A mirror?
That's right. It's the first and last bit of damage Dr. Yeager's lethal ray or his other weapons are going to inflict. Come on, Hap. Let's get these crooks up to the ship.
Yes, sir.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
Hey, Hap, where are you hiding your rice checks and wheat checks these days?
Right here, Captain Tufeld, in this top-secret Space Patrol file cabinet. You gotta be careful where you keep the checks around here. They taste so good, anybody who sees them eats them.
Are you filing them under C for checks?
Smoking rockets, no. Under T for tops. Oh, one thing for sure, Captain. It's no secret that rice checks and wheat checks are tops. 3 ways. For taste, for size, and for get up and go.
Yes, sir, gang. Hap is 3 times right. Checks are tops 3 ways. For taste, sunny gold rice checks or power-rich wheat checks. Delicious right out of the box for snacks or out of the bowl with milk or cream. Tops for size. Checks are made in that modern, streamlined, bite-sized design for super easy eating. And checks are tops for get up and go. Real Space Patrol get up and go. After a good breakfast with checks, you're off to a blazing, lightning-fast start every morning.
Jumpin' Jupiter, Captain Tufeld. What are we waiting for? Hey, let's get going on the checks right now. Space Patrollers, why don't you get going? Go get checks today.
Look for them in the red and white checkerboard packages with the swell picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and the wonderful free Space Patrol trading card on the inside. Rice checks,
wheat checks.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are captives aboard a spaceship from another galaxy. In a desperate attempt to warn the United Planets of an attack, the 2 space patrollers are trying to master the bewildering controls of the spaceophone in the strange ship.
Well, gee, Commander, this certainly doesn't look like any transmitter I ever saw before.
Hold it, Hap. I think you've got it. Don't touch anything else. Make the call.
Smoking rockets. Commander, look.
It's the robot. Zervok sent him to stop us.
He's a monster. And he's coming right for us.
Get that call out, Hap. I'll try to hold that thing off.
Space Patrol, emergency. All units. It's got me.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Visitor from Galaxy 9, when Rice Checks and Wheat Checks again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devereaux. Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Rice Checks and Wheat Checks again present Space Patrol! Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.